Batting sixth, the New Jersey Institute of Technology, the left fielder, number 7, Julio Marcano.
Live from Veterans Field in Chatham, 5 games remain in this 2021 season, and the Orleans Firebirds are ready for a home-and-home between their biggest rival against the Chatham Anglers, right here on the Birds Broadcast Network. And hi again, everybody. Gareth Kwok alongside my partner, Carlo Jimenez. Glad you can join us here on this Saturday night here from Chatham. Well, for Orleans, yesterday's loss against YD officially eliminated them from playoff contention. Firebirds, though, still with plenty to play for this weekend in this home-and-home between the Chatham Anglers here at Chatham today, and then back at Eldridge Park tomorrow on Sunday. Firebirds looking to even up the season series at Chatham tonight. Right now, the Anglers leading 2-1. Both teams have been eliminated from playoff contention, but right now, still plenty to play for. Orleans, they need to go 4-1 these last 5 games to get to 500. It would only be the 3rd time in Kelly Nicholson's career, but also the 3rd time in 5 years that he has gone under 500 if this stands. Orleans looking to even up the season series tonight against Chatham on enemy turf. And for now, let's send it over to our sideline reporter, Noah Searson, for the Early Bird pregame show.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Welcome into another edition of the Early Bird pregame show. And Noah Searson here alongside Cole Bradley. Got a fun matchup, Chatham, Orleans, Veterans Field with beautiful weather. Doesn't get much better than this cold late season matchup. Got a little bit of the air taken out of this one by the fact that both of these teams have now been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs after last night's game. A little disappointing, especially for a Firebirds team that at times, showed a lot of flair, showed that they could compete with the best of the best, especially after wins against Bourne and Brewster last week. But unfortunately, this will not be a playoff year for Orleans. But that's not to say there isn't a lot of great baseball yet to be played, because at the end of the day, the Cape League is all about developing guys and evaluating talent. And scouts are still here to watch and see how these guys are, evaluate them for 2023, 2024. So, when you're thinking about this final 5-game stretch for the Firebirds, you got to put into context, it's a little bit disappointing to see that they haven't made the playoffs, but it's not time to mail it in, because this is the time that they can finally, kind of cash in on all their hard work this summer, show something to the scouts heading into the fall, and then eventually the spring seasons, and these games are really, really still important, Cole.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about just the importance of development, coming out here to showcase the league. You come out here to showcase your talent. It's the best of the best. It doesn't get much better at the amateur level of baseball than the Cape Cod League. So that's sort of the foremost focus of this league, and that's always been the case. Obviously, winning is just sort of an extra incentive, I think, to help these guys be a little bit more competitive, have something that they're playing for, but that doesn't mean that at the end of the day they're still not playing for something and playing for keeps. And I think, you'll see guys, we'll touch base, I think, a little bit on Max Rajic here in a bit. He's still got things he's got to iron out and work on. There's obviously the hitters who got to prime themselves for fall ball before heading into the spring season, especially the guys who are probably going to get drafted next year. So there's still a lot of things that are to be worked on and to be assessed and developed. And I think these last 5 games will be very important for the Firebirds to figure out each individual, what is that for me? What did I come out here to work on, and how can I move forward into improving that?
Well, you mentioned Max Rajic, so let's tackle the UCLA right-hander. He was an All-American this year, but he was also the team's closer. His big goal coming out onto the Cape was transitioning from his closing role, to becoming a starter, which is a crazy switch up. But so far, overall, it's worked out pretty good. It's been up and down, and not every outing has gone completely smoothly. But it's kind of interesting, because even talking to pitching coach Matt Troop, he said, I remember after one of his starts against YD, I talked to Troop, and he said Max didn't really have his curve, but he still went, pretty deep into the game, only allowed 3 runs. So, when we're thinking about Max Rajic, the transition, him being a starter at UCLA potentially next season, how would we evaluate him right now? What can we expect tonight? And do you think he's, ready for that leap from closer to the additional innings, the role of starter there for the Bruins?
Yeah, I think coming in, it's actually funny. He's finishing his season the same place he started it. His first start was at Chatham, at Veterans Field, second game of the season, and he's going to be finishing up things here. But in terms of just how he's done, I think he's done a really nice job adjusting to that new role, stretching his arm out, going from like 45 to 55 to sort of 60 and even pushing to 70 and 80 range, which is where you're going to be living as a starter in terms of pitch count. And in the college game, some guys will even go over 100. So I think he has, and not a whole lot of Firebirds in general have been able to do that this summer, but I think that's something he'll iron out more over the fall. But I think he's definitely developed a good launching point for himself into the fall, and he's done a really nice job in multiple innings. I mean, this is a guy who, like you said, Noah, was an All-American closer. He, at most, was pitching 2 innings max in games that the Bruins just needed to stretch out their back-end guys, and so he's definitely had to make a major adjustment since high school. He said was the last time he started games. So this is huge for him to be able to come out here and again stretch out his arm a little bit more and get deeper into ball games. And overall, I think he's done a really nice job.
Yeah, he's definitely done a really nice job. He's got great stuff, and like you said, the transition, you would hardly even know it. The way that he's played out here, the fact that he's only had a couple of starts under his belt, definitely propelling him for that position in UCLA. But when we're thinking beyond Max Ragic and some other guys, normally this is the part of the show where we throw keys to the game, but seeing as, you know, winning and losing, it's all gravy at this point. It's all about development at this point in the year. So Cole and I are both going to pick a player that I guess we want to see something out of, kind of calling him out, like we want to see this guy perform not only tonight but show something these final 5 games leaping into their college season. So Cole, you think you got a guy that you're really looking out for have a big game tonight in the final 5 stretch?
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm actually going to talk about Jared McKenzie a little bit, who's been riding a little bit of a hot hand as of late. He's at the top of the order tonight for Orleans. He's had a hit, I think it's each of the last 3 or 4 games. He's been able to drive in runs. He's been very, very solid. And like a lot of guys on this Orleans team, it's sort of been an up and down summer for him. And I think that riding the hot hand late is going to really transition and give him momentum heading into the fall with Baylor to improve for the spring season, like we've talked about a lot. And I think I'm going to be looking at him the most, especially if he's batting at the top of the lineup, because this is something he can carry the rest of the way. Just to, you know, adjust and show off some of that hitting that he had at Baylor the past couple seasons, that we all know coming in that he was going to be able to, you know, display. And I think, again, it's been an up and down year for him, but he's riding the hot hand right now, and I'm definitely going to have my eye on him tonight and moving.
Well, I love that pick because Jared's one of the guys that I think flew a bit under the radar coming into the season. This is a guy who made an all-Big 12 team, tore it up at Baylor, and it's been up and down, but when I interviewed him after one of the games the other day, he kind of talked about how being on the Cape really humbles you, facing the best pitchers, using a wood bat, and how that's helped in his self-growth as a hitter and ball player overall. I think Jared's a great pick, and I'm going to actually go with the guy that swapped out of that leadoff spot for the Firebirds, Peyton Chatinier. We all remember his appearance with this team. Came a little bit late into the season, but he was a firecracker immediately in that game against Katuitt, and thereafter he gets on base. He's not necessarily the fastest guy, but gets good jumps, really good on the base paths, but of late not as good. A little bit of a colder start, and it's not a talent thing with Peyton. I think we realize that the bat's there, the fielding's there. It seems like, you know, it's just missing something. You know, he's been, the fielding's gone down a little bit of late. So about him, I want to see the confidence, and I want to see the old Peyton Chatinier. And, you know, when I talk about that, it's all about the swagger with Peyton. It's getting, you know, the energy up, being that guy that picks everybody up, being that guy that kind of everybody looks to in terms of, you know, just having overall energy and good vibes, I guess is the only way I can put it, because when he has that, it also helps his play on the field. He's getting the base hits, he's making the plays, and he's helping his team win games. He's one of those guys where has a lot of qualities of just being an excellent teammate, which is sometimes hard to grade it, sometimes hard to think about when you're prospecting these guys, but he's got it, the talent's there. So Peyton, I think he has the chance to really get back on track these last 5 games to propel himself into a solid year at Ole Miss. So Jared McKenzie, Peyton Chatinier, we all think they have great opportunities to finish this stretch out, and that starts all tonight against Chatham here at Veterans Field. So that's all the time we have today here on the Early Bird pregame show. So alongside Cole Bradley, I'm Noah Searson saying so long. You can see all our coverage on Twitter, on Orleans Firebirds social media pages, but for now we're going to send it back to Gareth and Carlo in the booth for the national anthem and then first pitch at 7. Guys, take it away.
Supporter of the Chatham Anglers and the Cape Cod Baseball League. He's a resident of Chatham and has been very involved by actively participating in many town committees over the last 10 years. With tonight's national anthem, please welcome back Brad Schiff.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Brad Schiff, thank you.
All right, a very nice national anthem sung here live from Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts. Home and home between the Orleans Firebirds and the Chatham Anglers. These will be the last two times that these two sides score off in this 2021 summer. Firebirds will host Chatham one more time tomorrow night at 7 p.m. But before we get to that, let's introduce the starting lineup for manager Kelly Nicholson and the Orleans Firebirds tonight, serving as the road team. Leading off will be Jared McKenzie, the center fielder from Baylor. Jared's been seeing the ball a lot better as of late, and he will hit leadoff. Luke Eash will hit second, the third baseman from the University of San Francisco. Hitting third, Chase DeLondo, the right fielder from James Madison. Tyler Locklear, his fellow Bashboro, will hit fourth and play first base out of Virginia Commonwealth University. Trey Harmon, the DH from Stetson, he'll hit fifth. Julio Marcano hitting sixth, the left fielder from NJIT. And hitting seventh will be Peyton Chanier, hitting seventh and playing second. We've seen him a lot in that leadoff spot, but tonight Kelly Nicholson slotting him at that seventh spot. David Marcano hitting eighth, the shortstop from NJIT. And then batting ninth, Garrett Guillemette, the starting catcher from the University of Southern California. Defensively for Chatham and for Tom Holliday tonight, this is how they will look. Caden Tranquil in left field, Jake DeLeo in center, Lyle Miller-Green in right. Nolan Mclean at third, Josh Rivera at shortstop, Danny Soretti at second base, and David Mendham at first. And behind the plate doing the catching is Max Romero Jr. For tonight's starting pitcher, it's going to be the right-hander, the rising sophomore from the University of Miami, Alex Mcfarland, a 6'4", 212-pound right-hander from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And Mcfarland, who will be making his seventh appearance on the summer, only his second start with Chatham. And his numbers so far have been very good, actually. He has a 1-2 record with a 3.63 ERA. In 17 1/3 innings pitched, he has 24 strikeouts over 11 walks. And if you take away his one outing where he gave up 5 earned runs versus YD back on July 6th, he has thrown 14 1/3 innings and has allowed just 2 earned runs. So he's really just had one bad outing where he gave up the majority of his runs all summer. And besides that, he's been really solid, and he will face off against this Orleans lineup tonight, looking to even up this season series at 2 games apiece.
Leading off for Orleans, the center fielder from Baylor, number 18, Jared.
Firebirds and Anglers last met on Wednesday, and Chatham taking that game in what was a barn burner. 13-10 win for Chatham. At one point, the Anglers led 13-2 in the middle innings. Orleans clawed back, made things interesting with a 3-run ninth, but were unable to come back and win as the first pitch to Jared McKenzie is low and away for ball one, and we get things started at 7:01 p.m. local time here from Chatham. McKenzie hitting .224, 8 runs batted in on the summer. Left-handed hitter versus the righty Mcfarland, 1-0 pitch. And a fastball right in there for a called strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jared McKenzie, first time in that leadoff spot all summer. 1-1 pitch. And a fastball inside gets past the glove of Max Romero Jr., 2-1.
Yeah, from Mcfarlane, you're going to see a fastball that tops out around 97. He's got a slider and a changeup, his other two breaking pitches, and those will sit mid-80s. The changeup just a little faster than the slider.
From the line, the 2-1 is a high pop-up along the left field line, and that will go out of play. 2-2 the count. The umpires for tonight's game, Mike Hinojosa behind the plate calling balls and strikes, Jeff Merzel at first base, and Joseph Labello at third. Those are the three umpires for tonight. The 2-2 pitch. McKenzie takes a fastball just off the outside, and the count goes full 3-2. Orleans and Chatham have both been officially eliminated from the playoffs and any contention from otherwise. This 3-2 pitch is popped foul again by McKenzie down the left field line out of play. So right now, these two teams playing for some pride right now. Still scouts in attendance and trying to see how these guys do when there's no playoffs to play for. 3-2 pitch, McKenzie with a ground ball into right field, a base hit. And that's how this game gets started. A leadoff hit from Jared McKenzie, who on a 5-game hitting streak has now increased that to 6 with a sharp single to right, and he's aboard now for Luke Keischel for Orleans. Keischel, a right-handed batter from the University of San Francisco, hitting .362, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in on the summer. Right-handed batter, first pitch. And a fastball low and in at 90 miles an hour. 1 ball, no strikes. So after Keischel had an 11-game hitting streak that was snapped on Wednesday, these past 2 games he has gone 0 for his last 10. And a quick toss over to first to check on McKenzie, who's back to first with a dive. Anglers wearing their white uniforms with the blue pinstripes, with the letters and numbers colored in blue. Anglers written across the chest. Another turn and a throw over to McKenzie, and McKenzie dives back in safely. Firebirds, meanwhile, in their red camo HDMH jerseys with the black undershirt. Firebirds written in black across the chest. 1-0 pitch, fastball pumped in there for a called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Luke Keischel. Orleans with a record of 12-15-4. Chatham with a record of 13-18-3. Another turnover to first to check on McKenzie. Already the 3rd time. Mcfarlane trying to keep the Baylor outfielder at first base. Jared does have 5 stolen bags on the summer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mcfarlane at the belt, kicks and throws. Keischel pops one up foul over toward the playground along the first base side, and it's 1-2. On deck is Chase DeLauder for the Firebirds. Jared McKenzie at first. Luke Keischel at the plate. No score, nobody out, just getting things started here from Veterans Field in front of a sellout crowd here at Chatham. 1-2. The pitch. Fastball runs outside. 2-2. Luke Keischel, the reigning Cape League Player of the Week. Trying to get back on track after a hitless last 2 games for himself. And playing third base today. Another quick throw over to first, and that time a little bit more close. But McKenzie's still back to first with a dive as his jersey continues to get dirtied up. Each time Mcfarland throws over. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Middle infielders playing double play depth, 2-2. And a swing and a miss on the pitch. Low. Keischel down swinging. And with 1 on, there's 1 gone for Chase DeLauder now.
The right fielder from James Madison, number 25, Chase DeLauder.
I think early in the season, Gareth, if the Firebirds are trying to get their way into the playoffs, you might see a bunt there from Keischel. But with guys just playing for the Scouts here with no wins on the line.
As Chase DeLauder takes a first pitch fastball on the outside for a called strike.
Kelly Nicholson's going to let everybody swing away. I don't think he'll make anybody put down a bunt to try to win again, try to move guys over, especially this early.
1-1 the pitch. DeLauder takes a fastball a little bit low in the way. 1-1 to the James Madison right fielder, hitting .286, 9 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Still tied for the league lead in homers with his fellow buddy Tyler Locklear. 1-1, fastball low again, 2-1. The count to Chase DeLauder. DeLauder went 0 for 3 yesterday against YD in the 5-1 loss to the Red Sox, 2-1. DeLauder takes a fastball outside, 3 balls and a strike. And the trend that we've been seeing with DeLauder now from opposing pitchers, they're trying to pitch him a lot more carefully, not give him any fastball over the middle of the plate. A lot of the stuff away to the left-handed hitter as a 3-1. Mcfarland comes inside with the fastball, and it's ball 4.
The first baseman from VCU.
A single, a strikeout, and now a walk. And now here comes the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year and the VCU first baseman Tyler Locklear with 2 on and 1 out.
Firebirds 6-0 on the summer when they score first. The big at-bat here for T-Lock, trying to put the Birds on the board.
Locklear hitting .252, 9 home runs, 27 runs batted in. The RBI leader on the Cape. First pitch. And he fouls it off his foot as it dribbles out toward the first base side. 0-1. Locklear went 2 for 4 yesterday against YD. In what was otherwise a forgettable performance for Orleans in a must-win game. Orleans' loss and Harwich's win yesterday officially knocked them out of any playoff contention as Locklear on the 0-1 hits one high and deep to right center field, backing up is Miller Green. He can't get it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. McKenzie rounding third. He has to hold there as he was unsure if that ball was going to get over the head of Miller Green out in right center field. McKenzie was about a third down third base, and he had to make sure that got down before advancing to third. So everybody advances 90 feet. It's a deep single for Tyler Locklear. The bases are loaded. There's 1 out. And Trey Harmon with a chance to open up the scoring here at Chatham.
Yeah, that's the hardest hit single of Tyler Locklear's career. I mean, that's a double anytime else. Just with 2 guys in front of him, he had to hold up.
First pitch to Trey, and a line drive hit well to center field. Racing back is DeLeo. That's going to go all the way to the wall, and it hops over the fence and over the wall for a ground rule double. McKenzie will come in, as well as Chase DeLauder. Locklear over the third. A 2-run double for Trey Harmon. The future Stetson Hatter has made it 2-0 here in the first.
Trey Harmon loves playing Chatham. He's got 3 doubles this summer. They've all come against the Anglers, and boy, what a big one there. A dream start for the Firebirds, really, Gareth. And we kind of sensed it earlier today. I mean, sitting down there in BP, it seemed like, guys realized they were eliminated, and it was all just about playing baseball. That's what's on the line here today, just playing. And the Firebirds playing loose and up 2-0.
I mean, the vibe that we got from batting practice, guys were laughing around and kind of joking around, you could say, and just having some fun, knowing that, hey, 5 games, let's play a little loose, have some fun. Julio Marcano, right-handed bat, swings and fouls one back toward the Chatham parking lot. 0-1 to the NJIT left fielder. So for Trey Harmon, he picks up his 8th and 9th runs batted in on the summer. He's at second, Tyler Locklear at third. Orleans up 2-0 here in the top of the first off Alex Mcfarlane, the right-hander from the University of Miami. 0-1, check swing, foul back to the netting. And it's 0-2 to Julio Marcano. Alex Mcfarlane on the bump for the Anglers. He's a second-year freshman who primarily came out of the bullpen for the Miami Hurricanes. He also started a handful of games as well. 16 appearances, 4 starts, had a 4.5 ERA in 34 innings pitched. Marcano on the 0-2 takes low and away for ball 1. 1-2. At 38 strikeouts over 15 walks in those 34 innings. Mcfarlane had a bit of an up-and-down year. 9 of his 16 appearances, he gave up at least a run. 1-2. Marcano, wave and a miss on the changeup from Alex Mcfarlane. Strikeout number 2 for the right-hander.
The second baseman from Ole Miss,
and there is 2 gone now, and here is Peyton Chanier.
Well, this works out kind of nicely for the Firebirds. You move the leadoff guy into the 7th spot, and he comes up with 2 in scoring position and 2 out. An opportunity for Chatagnier in the first inning to pick up RBIs, something he hasn't had a chance to do all summer.
Here's Chatagnier hitting .264, 4 homers, 14 runs batted in. Big swing and a miss on a changeup on the first pitch. 0-1 to the Ole Miss second baseman. Chatagnier, who's been primarily Orleans' leadoff hitter all summer since arriving in late June. This is unfamiliar territory for him, hitting in the 7th spot tonight for Kelly Nicholson. 0-1 is a high pop-up down the right field line, out of play toward the snack shack, and it's 0-2 now to Chatagnier.
Harmon's ground rule double, 105 off the end of the bat. Talk about some hard-hit baseballs here early. The Firebirds are smacking it.
David Marcano on deck. 2-0 Orleans. Runners on second and third, 2 down. Mcfarland will now step off the slab and wipe the sweat off his forehead. 0-2. Mcfarland at the belt and ready. The pitch. Chatagnier takes outside. 1-2 the count. Brewster has already clinched a playoff spot in the East. Harwich and YD, the 2 remaining teams, with Harwich in the driver's seat. All they have to do is win tonight, and they are in to the Cape League playoffs. 1-2. And another breaking ball just misses the outside. 2-2. To Peyton Chatagnier, who went 0 for 5 yesterday against the Red Sox with a couple of strikeouts. Mcfarland versus a Cape League All-Star in Chatagnier, the 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Got him with the changeup. And Mcfarland strikes out the side, but not before Orleans crosses 2 home on a 2-run double by Trey Harmon to dead central. 2-0 Firebirds. They lead early after the top half of the first, and we will go now to the bottom of the first when we come back here on the Birds Broadcast Network.
We ask for your cooperation and the positive support.
The Cape Cod Baseball League would like to welcome our new sponsor, Mosquito Mary's, a locally owned family-operated business that provides all-natural mosquito and tick control services. Call 866-ASK-MARY or go to mosquitomarys.com. Mention the Cape Cod Baseball League and get your first treatment for only $29. Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 of those are low or no-calorie options.
All right, thanks so much for that, Mr. Jimenez. And after a 2-run first inning for the Firebirds, let's now introduce the starting lineup for manager Tom Holliday and the Chatham Anglers. Leading off will be Danny Soretti, the second baseman from UNC Chapel Hill. He'll lead off. Caden Trinkle will hit second, the left fielder from Oklahoma State. Hitting third, Josh Rivera, the lone all-star on this Chatham roster. He'll hit third and play shortstop from the University of Florida. Hitting fourth, Max Romero Jr., the catcher from Vanderbilt. Nolan Mclean will hit fifth, the third baseman from Oklahoma State. Kenny Lavari hitting sixth, the DH from Old Dominion. Batting seventh, David Mendham, the first baseman from South Carolina. Hitting eighth, Lyle Miller-Green, the right fielder and the future Oklahoma State Cowboy. And batting ninth, Jake DeLeo, the center fielder from Georgia Tech. Orleans' defensive alignment today will look like this. Julio Marcano out in left field, Jared McKenzie in center, Chase DeLauder in right. Luke Keishel at third base, David Marcano at shortstop, Peyton Chatagnier at second base, and Tyler Locklear getting the start at first. And behind the plate doing the catching is Garrett Guillemette. For tonight's starting pitcher for Orleans, the rising sophomore from UCLA, a 6', 205-pound right-hander from Fullerton, California, Max Rajic, making his 7th start on the summer. He is 0-2 with a 4.05 ERA. And from the windup, the first pitch to Soretti, a left-handed batter, is outside for ball one at 91 miles an hour. 1 ball, no strikes. Rajic making his 7th start. 20 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts over just 6 walks. 1-0 pitch, misses inside. Soretti has to back himself out of the way. 2-0. Rajic, who had a fantastic first 3 starts here on the Cape. From the windup, the 2-0. Soretti pops one up foul down the left field line, 2-1. He had 10 1/3 innings pitched, did not allow a run, walked only 2 hitters and struck out 9. His last 3 starts, however, for Rajic, 9 2/3 innings, 9 earned runs, 4 walks and 15 strikeouts. 2-1 is high and outside, and is now 3-1 to Danny Soretti, the Chatham second baseman from North Carolina. So Rajic, his first half of the season has been great. His second season, very up and down, as a 3-1 is a high fastball, too high for ball 4. A walk to lead off this first inning for Max Rajic. And here stands in now the left-handed bat from Oklahoma State, Caden Trenkle.
Yeah, and from Rajic, what you're going to see is that fastball that tops out around 94, curveball and a changeup. His other 2 pitches, the curveball sits low 80s.
First pitch to Trenkle is a breaking ball outside for ball 1.
Going to see a little more of the curveball to lefties and about a half and half split fastball curveball to righty, so doesn't really use the changeup too much.
Trenkle hitting 186 with a home run and 10 runs batted in. Swings and fouls one back to the netting. Count even at 1 now to the left-handed bat from Oklahoma State. Went 2 for 3 versus Orleans back on Wednesday when these two teams last faced off, including a double. Rajic with a quick throw over the first, and diving back safely is Soretti. Danny Soretti at first base. He's got 3 stolen bags on the summer. 1 ball, 1 strike, and the pitch is a foul tip as it drops behind the catcher Guillemette. 1-2. Trenkle swinging with the all-blue bat. A lot of guys on this Chatham team will swing with the all-blue. 1-2 pitch. Popped up foul over the Chatham press box and into the seats. 1-2 to Caden Trenkle. Josh Rivera on deck, the shortstop from Florida. 2-0 Orleans. Runner at first, nobody out. Rajic at the set, 1-2. And a curveball that misses up high, 2-2. That curveball Rajic has really worked on hard this summer. And when it's on, it really is on in such a nasty pitch. However, he has been inconsistent with it. 2-2. Fastball and a fly ball into left center field. Shallow left, and it's going to drop for a base hit right in front of Julio Marcano. Throw to second in time to get Soretti, who had to make sure that ball got down. He was about halfway off second, and he still wasn't able to get to second ahead of the throw from Julio Marcano. It'll go as a fielder's choice for Caden Trenkle, and there's 1 away.
And a heads-up play there by Julio Marcano and Peyton Chatinier. They knew they had a chance at the force. And for the Firebirds, a big first out for Max Rajic, who looked like he was going to allow the first 2 batters of the inning to reach.
So 7-4 on the fielder's choice. Trenkle at first. Josh Rivera, right-handed bat, stands in. First pitch. Rivera takes a curveball in the dirt. Garrett Guillemette blocks it. Snap throw over to first. Safe, says first base umpire Jeff Merzel. 1 ball, no strikes. Josh Rivera, the only Chatham angler to be named a Cape League All-Star this summer. Hitting .240 with a home run, 4 runs batted in. 1-0 pitch. Takes a fastball at the knees for a called strike, 1-1. Rivera, also known to have a great defensive glove. Tom Holliday, his manager, calls him the real deal. A real deal shortstop. 1-1 pitch, outside, snap throw back to first, not in time. That one much closer as well, with Trenkle diving back to first. Garrett Guillemette was one of the best arms here on the Cape, unafraid to be aggressive and throw out any potential base runner off of their base. 2-1. Rajic ready, the pitch, and a curveball bounced foul down the third base side. Count even now at 2 to Josh Rivera from the University of Florida.
Isn't this a beautiful day for baseball, Garrett?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I mean, it does not get much better than this. We've been spoiled the last 2 games. Clear skies, lights just turning on, packed stands. I don't want to leave.
2-2. Trenkle with his lead at first. The pitch. Rivera lines one foul beyond the playground out in right field. 2-2. Sun beginning to set just behind the left field trees. And the lights beginning to brighten here at Veterans Field. A packed house on this Saturday night Last day of July here tonight. The 2-2. And a big curveball, top foul again, off toward the Chatham dugout. Remains 2-2 to Josh Rivera. On a 5-game hitting streak for the Anglers and looking to finish strong for this Chatham team that will not be making the postseason, as well as with Orleans. 2-2. And a big curveball blocked in the dirt nicely by Guillemette. And the count 3-2 now with Max Romero Jr., the catcher, on deck. 2-0 Firebirds. Runner at first, 1 out. Full count pitch to Rivera. Trinkle runs. And a line drive into right field, slicing down the right field line. The fair ball and into the corner. Trinkle headed over third. They're going to wave him in. The relay throw from Chanier will not be made. Rivera in the second base with an RBI double as he celebrates with his teammates. 2-1 the score. Anglers cut the lead in half on an RBI double from the Florida Gator.
Well, a good response by Chatham after surrendering 2. And now they can tie this game. And it's a Chatham team that's been swinging the bat really well their last 5 games. A .278 average, which, Gareth, is nearly 60 points above their .218 average on the summer. So they're feeling good. While the average might not show it, they have played some of their best baseball at the plate. And Max Rajic is realizing that here in the bottom of the first inning.
Here's Max Romero Jr., left-handed batter, and the catcher from Vanderbilt. First pitch, swing, and a miss on the changeup, 0-1. Chatham as a team on the summer hitting .218, which is second worst on the Cape. But as you talked about, Carlo, the last week, they have been hitting much better at the plate, taking a lot more pitches and just putting together a lot more quality at-bats. 0-1 is a curveball outside. Count even at 1 to Romero Jr. Hitting .263 on the summer, 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in. He's been one of their RBI go-to guys this summer for the Anglers. Look over at second once, now twice from Rajic, and he comes home. And a foul straight back to the screen, 1-2. Romero versus right-handers, one of the best on the team, hitting .333. He's got 11 hits in 33 at-bats with 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. So 4 of his 5 homers have come against right-handers. 1-2 pitch is a bouncing ball, softly hit to first. Locklear has it. He'll underhand toss to Rajic, covering first for the out. Josh Rivera advances to third, and with him at third and 2 down, this will bring up now Nolan Mclean out of Oklahoma State. (2-1) Orleans. Josh Rivera standing at third. He has driven in the only run for Chatham so far with an RBI double down the right field line. And now here stands in the power bat of Nolan Mclean. The third baseman, first pitch, takes a curveball up high, 1-0. Mclean almost completing his first week here on the Cape with the Anglers. He has 3 hits and 10 at-bats. 1-0 pitch, fastball, paints the outside corner, a called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. All 3 of his hits this summer came in the game Wednesday versus Orleans. He went 3 for 3, including a 3-run home run. 1-1 pitch, bounced into the hole by the left side. Kiesel snares it, throws to first, got him in time. And a nice play by Luke Kiesel to prevent the tying run from scoring. We head now to the second. After 1, it's Orleans 2, Chatham 1. Anglers cut the lead in half, and we'll be right back here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Back here on the Birds Broadcast Network, Gareth Kwok alongside my good friend Carlo Jimenez and our sideline reporter Noah Searson here on this Saturday night from Chatham, Massachusetts. One of the best ballparks here on the Cape. David Marcano stands in and he lays down the bunt right in front of the mound. Mcfarland picks it up, throws over to first, and they get Marcano by about a step for out number 1.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of Firebirds start to take a liking to that bunt to start off an inning. Successful for Jared McKenzie earlier in the season. And David has tried to use it a lot these past week or so. Unable to get aboard there.
So David Marcano, the number 8 guy in the order, grounds out on the bunt attempt. Garrett Guillemette stands in. 8, 9, and 1 batters due up against Alex Mcfarlane. Guillemette, first pitch, is inside, pops out of the glove of Romero for ball 1. Alex Mcfarlane, the right-hander from the University of Miami, his last appearance was last Saturday versus Bourne. 1-0 pitch. Guillemette takes a breaking ball right down the pipe for a called strike. 1-1. He went 4 innings, no runs, no hits, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts on 68 pitches. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Guillemette late on the breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
We got a dance going, Gareth, of seagulls.
Seagulls, doves, they're out there dancing out in front of the infield. The 1-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss. Guillemette swinging for the fences there on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, unable to make contact. And for Mcfarland, that's 4 strikeouts. And there's 2 down quickly. And here comes the top of the order now for Orleans and Jared McKenzie. McKenzie led off this game with a single to right back in the first inning. Firebirds scored 2 on a Trey Harmon 2-run double, a ground rule double to right center field. That scored McKenzie and DeLauder. First pitch, Jared takes a fastball outside for ball 1.
McFarland's a big strikeout guy. Already 4 strikeouts. He's sat down 5, but 13 in his last 2 outings. So this is nothing new.
1-0. McKenzie takes up high. 2 balls, no strikes. This is an Angler team that leads the league in strikeouts. The pitching staff strikes out over 11 hitters a game. 2-0. And a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. 2-1.
Yeah, and a pitching staff's that ERA is cut in half when they come home. 6 on the road, 3 here at Veterans Field. They like playing in front of this Chatham crowd. What stark contrast, though.
From the windup, 2-1. McKenzie with a foul line back to the backstop. And the count even at 2.
I mean, do they have some sort of... I'm trying to figure out how your ERA goes from 3 to 6 because you're at home versus not at home. That seems way too much.
Well, it's a very stark difference. That really is the tell of the tale with this Chatham team. The 2-2. McKenzie with a bouncing ball, gloved by Mcfarland. Runs over to first, underhand toss to the first baseman, Mendham, in time to end the inning. 1-2-3, second inning for Mcfarland. A nice bounce back second for him. And we'll head now to the bottom of the second. Max Rajic back out. 2-1 Orleans when we come back on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Anzoni, owner of Fairway Financial and Cape Cod's Retirement Income Specialist. If you want to hit a home run with your retirement income plan, schedule a time to meet with me today.
Get more details at fairwayfinancial.net. That's fairwayfinancial.net.
The designated hitter from Old Dominion, number 1, Kenny
The 6, 7, and 8 batters are due up here to begin this bottom of the second for the Chatham Anglers, with Orleans holding a 2-1 lead. Heading into the last of the second, Alex Mcfarland pitched a 1-2-3 second inning for the Anglers. Max Rajic will try to do the same. First pitch to the left-handed bat of Kenny Lavari is a swing and a miss. And it's 0-1 to the Old Dominion DH Lavari, hitting 148, just 4 hits in 27 at-bats. Takes an 0-1 fastball off the padding of Garrett Guillemette in the dirt. Kelly Nicholson will go out and grab the baseball. That ricocheted off of Guillemette's new catcher's gear that he got in a couple of days ago from USC. And the 1-1 pitch. Rajic takes a breaking ball up high, 2-1. I'm going to say, Garrett's catcher's gear looked awfully beaten up. The old catcher's gear, I should say. 2-1, swing and a miss. Lavari on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, unable to make contact, 2-2.
They were handy-downs when he was at USC. He was USC's everyday catcher.
2-2 from Rajic. Lavari lays off a high fastball. The count is full 3-2.
So you can imagine they went through some wear and tear. My question is, where did the old gear go? Can I buy it?
Probably donated somewhere. 3-2. Lavari pops one up over our heads and foul onto the lawn. And it's 3-2. There's about a dozen or so kids that are stationed out 50 feet behind us because there's a lawn out there that is adjacent to the parking lot. So it's a perfect spot to catch foul balls. On the 3-2 pitch, Lavari, soft ground ball to second. Chanier gobbles it up, throws to first in time, 1 away.
You got to be careful if you're back there, too. I mean, that ball got behind us in a hurry. it was coming in hot. And we did not bring our gloves today, so it's have your hands ready.
I mean, I'll be ready. I'll try my best. David Mendham will stand in now.
A lot of lefties in the lineup today, Gareth, for this team in Chatham. First 2 hitters in Soretti and Trinkle, then Romero, and now Lavari and Mendham.
Mendham, first pitch swing, ground ball to Locklear. He gloves it on the backhand and underhand tosses it to Rajic, covering first in time. And there's quickly 2 down here in the second inning. Well, there are 5 lefties in this lineup for Chatham against Max Rajic. As standing in is Lyle Miller-Green, the right fielder from Chippewa College and the future Oklahoma State Cowboy. Takes a first pitch fastball right on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to Miller-Green. Miller-Green hitting .237. He's got 6 homers, 24 runs batted in. The number 8 hitter in the order, 0-1. In the dirt, scooped out by Guillemette. Check swing, no on the appeal, says first base umpire Jeff Merzell. Count even at 1. Miller-Green, who leads the team in hits, home runs, RBIs, walks, as well as strikeouts. 1-1. Big curveball in there. Called strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's kind of the bar for Max Rajic. How good is that curveball, and can it find the zone? And that was a pretty one there for strike 2.
Rajic from the windup, 1-2 pitch. Miller-Green with a ground ball right back to Max Rajic. He'll toss over to first with an underhand in time, and the side is retired. Mcfarland throws a 1-2-3 second inning. Max Rajic says, I'll throw a 1-2-3 inning as well. Scoreless second for both sides. We'll head now to the third. Orleans 2, Chatham 1 when we come back on the Birds Broadcast Network.
All right, let's get an update on what's going on around the Cape. All 5 games are happening right now. That's a rarity when we give the score update. 2 of them in the 9th inning. We'll start with those. Top of the 9th at Stony Brook, the Brewster Whitecaps leading the Harwich Mariners 8-4 in what is potentially a postseason preview there at Stony Brook between Harwich and Brewster. YD dominating Hyannis. They, with a win and a Harwich loss, keep their playoff hopes alive. They have a 12-2 lead over the Harbor Hawks at Red Wilson. Bottom of the 5th at Arnie Allen Field, and it's Katuitt up 8-4 over the Falmouth Commodores. And bottom 3 at Wareham, the Wareham Gatemen with a 3-1 lead over the Bourne Braves, who are day and day starting to look a little more human, Gareth. Not sure if it's because, there's no pressure on them, but Bourne just does not feel like the superhuman team they were in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, right now the Braves not looking like the team that they were for 5 weeks of the season. This last week they have been stumbling a little bit. A lot of fluctuation in that roster right now. New guys brought in, which can, take some guys some getting used to. Especially takes a couple of games, but they don't have a whole lot of time to really get used to. They got to do it now because the playoffs are coming up next week.
And it's best of 3 series.
Luke Kiesel, first pitch to Luke is a fly ball hit well to left field. Going back and ranging over to his left to make the catch is left fielder Trinkle in the corner for out number 1.
You got to imagine for Kiesel it's starting to get a little frustrating here. 0 for his last 11 after that 11-game hitting streak. And that's baseball, the ups and downs, but Kiesel's really experiencing the ups and downs.
Top 3, 1 out, nobody on. The 2, 3, and 4 batters do up here against Alex Mcfarlane. Chase DeLauder, first pitch is a slider inside near his back foot, 1-0. DeLauder drew a walk his first time up in the first inning against Alex Mcfarlane. The 1-0 from the Miami right-hander is a pop-up along the third base side and a souvenir. 1 ball, 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. So right now, the home run chase, no pun intended. Something to pay attention to heading into these final 5 games as DeLauder takes a fastball outside, 2-1.
Who will be chasing who? That's my question. I mean, we're not going to be at a stalemate for much longer.
2-1 pitch. DeLauder takes a fastball on the outside corner, a called strike by home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa. 2-2 the count. DeLauder and Locklear at 9. The next highest is at 7. He got a good lead there at first as the 2-2 pitch is bounced up the middle on the ground to short. Rivera behind second base fires to first in time. 2 down. And here comes now his fellow Bash Bro, Tyler Locklear. I mean, I asked Tyler this after a game this week. Do you want to be called the Bash Bros or the Bash Birds? And he said, Bash Bros. First pitch, swing and a miss on the breaking ball, 0-1.
Well, if that's what he wants.
I was just trying to play off the birds, Firebirds, Bash Birds, 0-1. Locklear takes a fastball up high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
We don't want to get anybody confused that we're bashing birds, though. I mean, that's a bad look.
That's true. Just off the wordplay. 1-1 is a soft liner into center field coming in DeLeo, and he makes the head-high catch, and that will retire the side. Alex Mcfarlane with 6 straight retired, and that will send us now to the bottom of the 3rd. Orleans 2, Chatham 1 when we come back here on the Birds Broadcast Network.
It is with their support that we're able to...
Bottom 3 from Veterans Field, Gareth Kwok, Carlo Jimenez, our sideline reporter Noah Sears, and here on the Birds Broadcast Network. 5 games left here in this 2021 summer. Hard to believe that it's wrapping up here on the Cape. Firebirds looking to end strong. Firebirds will host Chatham tomorrow night at Eldridge Park. On Sunday, 7 p.m. first pitch. We'll have pregame at 6:45 as Jake DeLeo, the number 9 hitter, awaits the first pitch and takes a fastball on the outside for a called strike. 1-1. Orleans, oddly enough, has yet to win any game in a home-and-home series. DeLeo grounds one over the 3rd, fielded by Kiesel off his left hip. His throw very high over the head of Tyler Locklear and all the way to the fence. Peyton Chanier there to back it up. That throw not even close, as Luke Keishel airmails Tyler Locklear on the throw to first. And DeLeo is aboard on the E5. And he's at first with nobody out, and the top of the order due up in Danny Soretti. So Keishel had time. He just, not sure what happened. It must have slipped out of his hand because it was a good 10 or so feet over the head of Locklear's head. Here's the left-handed batter Soretti from UNC Chapel Hill. Takes a first pitch ball in the dirt for ball one. 2-1 Firebirds. 2 runs on 3 hits for Orleans. 1 run on 1 hit for Chatham so far. As the sun continues to set behind center field and left center. 1-0. Soretti takes a fastball outside for ball 2. 2-0. Soretti drew a walk. His first plate appearance back in the first inning. DeLeo at first. He has great speed. 2-0 pitch. Soretti swinging a foul tip into the glove of Guillemette. 2 balls and a strike. DeLeo at first has 7 stolen bags on the summer for the Anglers, which leads the team. 2 balls and a strike. Rajic ready, the pitch. Soretti, big chopper to second. Could they turn 2? Chanier to second for 1. Marcano's throw to first. Too late. And so they get the lead out at second. Chanier had to play that ground ball on the big hop. And allowed Soretti just enough time to beat out the relay throw from David Marcano, trying to turn 2. So 1 out, runner at first in Soretti. And here comes Caden Trenkle now from Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I think because Chanier had to rush that throw, his throw to Marcano was a little wide, which then adds another half second on his exchange, and it all adds up to Soretti being able to beat it out.
Trenkle takes a first pitch outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. To the Oklahoma State left fielder, left-handed batter versus the righty Rajic. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first, 1-0. And a tapper out in front of the mound, fielded by Rajic. Looks over to second, instead will go to first for the sure out. Trenkle retired. Over to second goes Soretti. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. And here comes Josh Rivera.
Sorry, good. Thought Rajic might have had a chance there at second base. I mean, Soretti was nowhere near on his way to the bag. But decided to play it safe, and now Rivera will try to capitalize.
Josh Rivera has already driven in the first run of the ball game for Chatham today. An RBI double down the right field line back in the first inning. The Cape League All-Star awaits the first pitch from Rajic. And a changeup. Check swing. Did he go around? No. On the appeal, says first base umpire Jeff Merzel. 1-0.
Another shift for the Birds. Chatinier to the left of second base, and Tyler Locklear, the first baseman, down the line. First time we've seen the Birds in a shift.
Yeah, the second base hole is wide open for Rivera. Left side of the infield, though, crowded. 1-0 pitch. Big curveball taken for strike 1 on the outside. 1-1 to Rivera. The third baseman, Keishel, hugging the line. The shortstop, Marcano, in the hole, and Chanier, the second baseman, playing up the middle. Locklear about 15 feet away from first base. 1-1. Rivera takes a curveball in the dirt again. 2-1. Chatham coming off a loss to Harwich yesterday by a final score of 8-4. 2-1. Big curveball on the outside corner. Strike 2 called. 2-2. 2-1 Orleans. Runner at second. 2 down. Max Romero Jr. on deck for the Anglers. Rajic ready. At the chest. Comes home. 2-2. Runner goes. Pitches in the dirt. Guillemet's throw down to third. Gets away and goes into left field. Soretti coming home. He will score. And this game is tied. It's 2-2. Garrett Guillemet throws the ball away. And it wasn't even close as well. That ball at least 10 feet to the right of Luke Keishel covering third base. Nothing Luke could do on that one. And this game is tied. Soretti comes home. Base is empty. 2-2 pitch. Rivera takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. And that will finally end the inning. For the Anglers in that bottom of the third, no runs on no hits, 2 errors, and none are left stranded, or pardon me, 1 run on no hits, 2 errors, and none are left stranded. It's a 2-2 ball game as we head to the 4th. Carlo Jimenez will have the play-by-play, but let's now send it over to our sideline reporter, Noah Searson. Noah?
Yeah, appreciate it, Gareth. So all season long, the Firebirds have had a lot of themes that have gone along with this team. One of them being their ability to hit for power. And if you attend any batting practice these days, there's one buzzword that powers the team through not only batting practice but in game, and that's the phrase barrel. And I'm not just talking about the spot of the bat. It's about using it as a verb, catching barrels. You'll hear it from Tyler Locklear. You'll hear it from Chase DeLauder, and it's picked up steam with even Garrett Guillemette, Julio Marcano, to the point where at today's batting practice, there was a barrel catching competition. So every guy that came up had a round, and however many barrels he caught, meaning however many times he hit the ball squarely on the sweet spot, that was counted, and whoever had the most was the winner. And it sounds a little bit cheesy, but when I talked to Locke about why this was the phrase that has propelled the entire team, he told me it's simple. When you catch a barrel, it just feels great. And I told him, maybe throw that on a T-shirt. Locke said he's already looked into it. It's already happened. So catching barrels, something you definitely want to do on the diamond. And look out for that T-shirt. It might be rocked by a lot of Firebirds on this roster, guys.
A catching barrels T-shirt. I got to give me one of those. Right-handed batter Trey Harmon looks in. First pitch. And he takes downstairs for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 2-2 game. By the air by Garrett Guillemette, gifting Chatham a run. Here's the 1-0. Harmon swings and misses. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, Guillemette was throwing down to 3rd, Garrett. And it almost looked like he wanted to throw and then halfway didn't want to throw, but lofted it 1-1. Strike at the knees. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Harmon. And so he ends up on the in-between. The ball goes into right field. And a free run for Chatham. We're even at 2. 1-2. Trey Harmon swings and golfs one down the left field line. A fair ball. Harmon will stop it first. 2 for 2 is Trey Harmon. And the leadoff runner of the 4th inning is on for the Firebirds.
And for Trey Harmon now, 2 for 2, as you talked about. 7-game hitting streak for the future Stetson Hather. This guy has just been on fire, seeing the ball real well out of the pitcher's hand and putting together a lot of solid contact, too. These aren't cheap hits by any means. He is really putting together some loud contact the last several games.
So the go-ahead run at first, it's the right-handed batter Julio Marcano. He shows bunt, takes it back, the ball misses away. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Marcano and Harmon both decided to wear the blast today. Now, for the fans out there who don't know what the blast is, every batting practice there's a sensor that guys can or cannot wear at the end of their bats that measures their swing. 1-0, another bunt, and this one straight back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. And often guys won't take a blast unless, of course, they're feeling good. Both of these guys in their batting practice round put blasts on, which is an indicator that they're both feeling good at the plate. Marcano coming off a 2-hit game last time he faced Chatham. Harmon with the 2-hit game tonight, 1-1. Bunt attempt, misses low. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Marcano called on the swing. He kept the bunt forward the whole time. An absolutely gorgeous night here at Veterans Field. Packed house, standing room only by us. The playground is popping. The hill out in right center field, covered with blankets and lawn chairs. 1-2. Marcano swings and skies one into right field. Right fielder Miller Green on the jog over to his right. He reaches up and makes the catch, and there's 1 away. David is 0 for 2. Trey Harmon remains at first. And it's in a tie game in the top of the 4th inning. Up comes Peyton Chatinier, who struck out swinging his first time up. Chatinier starting his first game for Orleans, not in the leadoff spot. Batting in the 7-hole today. As the right-handed batter looks towards Alex Mcfarlane. Righty on righty, the pitch. Downstairs in the dirt. Romero keeps it in front of him as it trickles to the left. And the count 1 ball and no strikes And I wonder, Gareth, Chatagny's had his struggles, but they haven't been horrible. Maybe Kelly Nicholson's just trying to get a little more offense spread out. This lineup was so top-heavy the past 2 weeks with Chatagny leading the charge. And now at the 7th spot, you have a little more danger towards the bottom, 1-0. And he breaks his bat through the legs of Mcfarland. The shortstop Rivera picks it up, steps on second, throws to first in time. Chatagny megs Mcfarland, but bounces into a double play. And that will do it for the top of the 4th. 1 hit and none left on. We remain even at 2 here on the Birds Broadcast Network.
All right, fans, tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Franklin Sports. The Orleans Firebirds would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. That's enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves. And tonight's game is sponsored by Rogers Gray. Catchers aren't the only ones protecting home. With Rogers Gray, you have more coastal homeowners insurance options and a true expertise in their people. Protect your home with Rogers Gray. Rogers Gray is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. And to learn more, go to @rogersgray.com.
Appreciate it, Garrett. Terrific, as always, every time on the PSAs.
Hey, my pleasure, my pleasure.
You
right?
just you think it can't get any better, and it gets better.
Really?
It gets better every time. Every time.
I appreciate you.
To the bottom of the 4th inning here at a packed house at Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts. The Firebirds' final trip here to Veterans. They played their 2nd game of the year here, and they're playing their 5th to last game of the year here, so quite the difference between the 2 games. And right now we are even at 2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It will be the junior out of Vanderbilt, the cleanup lefty Maxwell Romero Jr., to face off against Rajic, heart of the order against the righty. Rajic looks in towards Guillemette, kicks high. First pitch, misses upstairs. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. A peachy glow behind the fire station in right and center field. The flag quiet as seagulls fly in and out of the field. 1-0 is tapped towards the Firebirds dugout, skips off the screen, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Lights starting to turn on, and by us, I mean, there's at least 50 or so fans because there's no more seats in these new seats that were built in 2019. 1-1. And a broken bat ground ball down the right field line, a fair ball. Romero turning it first. He's going to dig for second. The Lauders throw from right field is in on a hop, and it's a leadoff double for Maxwell Romero. As Chatham puts the tying run, the go-ahead run at second base.
Nolan Mclean.
Romero, a big guy, 6'1", 210, but was able to get to second with ease on that slow looper down the right field line. And all of a sudden, after the Firebirds jumped out to the 2-0 lead, Chatham's got a chance to take their first lead of the game. Right-handed batter Nolan Mclean will dig in. Mclean had his best game of the summer by far against Orleans at Eldridge Park 4 days ago. First pitch home. And Mclean loops one right at the second baseman, Chatagny, over his head and into right field. Coming home is Romero. Struggling with it in center is McKenzie, and sliding into second is Nolan Mclean. An RBI double. And it is 3-2 Chatham. The Anglers take a lead in the bottom of the 4th.
The designated hitter from Old Dominion.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they mark that, Carlo, as far as if it's either an RBI double or if they rule it a single and an error on McKenzie. But looked like for a second Chatagny was going to be able to get to that ball just by about a foot or so. It gets over his head. If he makes that catch, that's an easy double play because Romero did not even freeze. He was headed for third.
Lefty Lavari takes a strike at the knees. And the count, no balls and 1 strike to him. So runner at second. They do mark it a double for McLean. And then the error on McKenzie. 3 errors already by Orleans in this game. 0-1 downstairs. Guillemette slides to his right. Keeps it in front of him. 1 ball, 1 strike. A double by Romero, an RBI single by McLean, and then he reaches second on the air by the center fielder. A Firebirds team that coming into this game had the least amount of errors on the Cape with 3. And we are not through 4 innings. 1-1 off the outside. 2 balls and a strike. The first half of a home and home and the final 2 games between these teams. Talking to the Chatham broadcasters, Emmanuel Bavari, Ben Shulman before the game. Here comes Rajic's 2-1 to the plate. Swing and a miss. And the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lavari. And they were saying this is the first time, as far back as the records book go, that Orleans and Chatham will not play on the final game of the regular season. 2-2. Downstairs, check swing. Did Lavari go? He did, said third base umpire Joseph Labella. Second strikeout for Max Rajic, and a big first out here in the 4th.
Yeah, and especially with this playoff method, this unique playoff method that we hope is only just for this year only. Only 2 teams from each division will make it. So 2 teams from the East and 2 teams from the West. And right now it's looking like Brewster at the very least, and Harwich is in prime position to make that. But no Orleans and Chatham, which is unusual.
Lefty Mendham looks at a first pitch ball away. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Chatham 3, Orleans 2. Anglers with a run in the bottom of the 4th on the RBI single from Nolan Mclean. He's at second after reaching on the air by the center fielder McKenzie. 1 out, 1 on, 1-0. Off the outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Mendham. First time since the mid-2000s that 2 teams from the same division won't be making the playoffs, when the playoff format was changed to 4 teams from each division. 2-0. Strike on the inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mendham, who's 0 for 1 with a ground out to the first baseman, Locklear. Inning started with a double by Romero down the right field line. McLean brought him home. 2-1. Lavari looks at a ball away. 3 balls and a strike. Just to kind of give you a sense of how good Nolan Mclean has been against this Firebirds team, when he's not playing Orleans, he is 0 for 7. Against Orleans, he is 4 for 5, 4 RBIs, 3 runs, and a home run. Something about those HDMH uniforms for McLean. 3-1. Swing and a miss. And the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 91. Pump past the blue bat of David Mendham. And, you know, we've seen that trend throughout this summer, Gareth. Some guys just have more success against other teams. Tanner Smith out of YD has all 3 of his home runs on the summer against the Firebirds. Tyler Locklear has 8 of his 27 RBIs against YD. 3-2. Off the outside. Mendham tosses the bat aside. He jogs down to first. And there's 2 on with 1 out. Chatham trying to add to their 3-2 lead as up comes Lyle Miller Green heading to Oklahoma State. That is the second walk of the game by Max Rajic. And Rajic's kind of been a tale of 2 halves for him, Gareth. You mentioned it earlier, but second half of the season has not been kind to the UCLA righty. First pitch to Miller Green. Misses away. 1 ball and no strikes to the right-handed batter.
And nobody getting loose in the bullpen for the Firebirds, so this is all Max Rajic for at least this 4th inning. Could we see him get stretched to the 5th inning tonight? He's going to have to come through big.
1-0. And a swing and a line drive into right field, going over the right fielder, DeLauder. Towards the line in fair territory, he makes the catch. Tagging from third is McLean. He's in there without a throw. Miller Green flies out to right. And there's runners to the corners. And McLean at third and Mendham at first for the 9-hole hitter Jake DeLeo. Have to imagine, though, for Rajic, coming in as a closer from UCLA, that 1.65 ERA, an All-American. I mean, this is the most innings he's pitched in a shortened stretch since high school, which was back in 2019 for him, had the COVID year as a freshman at UCLA. They're trying to stretch him out, and you're going to see some of those growing pains, and that's kind of what the second half has been for Max Rajic. Righty DeLeo looks on. Rajic deals. DeLeo bounces one up the middle. The shortstop, David Marcano, scoops to the second baseman, Peyton Chatinier. They go the short way to get the force on Mendham, and that will do it for the bottom of the fourth. 2 hits, 2 left on, 1 run comes across, and the Anglers have their first lead of the night. It's 3-2 Chatham here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the Birds Broadcast Network. Carlo Jimenez alongside my good friend Gareth Kwok. As we step into the top of the 5th inning, it will be David Marcano, Garrett Guillemette, and the leadoff man Jared McKenzie as Mcfarland begins his 5th inning of work. The righty deals to the righty Marcano, and the ball is downstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. For Mcfarland, this officially his longest outing of the summer. Coming off that 4-inning outing against Bourne, 1-0. Misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball in at 92. Coming off his best outing, July 24th, 4 innings, no hits. 2-0. Check swing, tap towards the Firebirds dugout, and the count 2 balls and a strike. 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. And he faced just 15 batters in those 4 innings. 2-1. Misses high. And on the appeal, no, says first base umpire Jeff Murcell. 3 balls and a strike to Marcano, who tried to bunt aboard his last time up. 3-1. Look out, up and inside. Marcano leans back and tosses the bat to the side as he jogs down to first. Firebirds have the tying run on the base paths to open up the 5th inning. And up comes Garrett Guillemette with 1 on and nobody out.
63 pitches in for Alex Mcfarlane. He certainly has had to work a little bit tonight. So you'd have to think right now, Anglers bullpen beginning to get warm. This could be his final inning tonight.
Marcano with speed at first. First pitch to the righty, Guillemette, swing and a miss. Count no balls and 1 strike to him. Garrett's been struggling his last couple of games, just 2 for 15 in his last 4, but has been terrific this summer with runners in scoring position. And we'll see if he can move Marcano over into scoring position with nobody out. Throw back to first. David back on a head-first slide. Chatham 3, Orleans 2. Nobody out. Runner at first is David Marcano. Top of the 5th inning on a gorgeous night. Firebirds' final visit to veterans, 0-1. And Guillemette swings and skies one into left center field. Going over the center fielder, DeLeo. Now he starts forward and makes the catch. Guillemette sends one for a ride. It's an out, and there's 1 away with 1 on.
Center fielder, number 18, Jared McKenzie.
And Veterans Field is one of those fields where it's tough to hit it out of. It's 385 to center, but it's deep in the gaps. 367 to left center field, and down the left field line, 340. And so it's certainly not easy to pull one down the left field line, especially when you consider Eldridge Park and how close that one is, 300 just down the left field line.
Left-handed batter Jared McKenzie looks towards Mcfarland. The pitch home, there goes Marcano, swinging a foul tap straight back. Marcano with a head-first slide into second. He gets up and realizes he's got to walk back, and he's on the jog back to first. Firebirds trying to initiate the hit and run. Pretty much polar opposites between that 340 in left, Garrett, the 300 in left at Eldridge. Those are the shortest and farthest left field lines on the Cape. Between these two rivals, 0-1, misses away. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike to Jared McKenzie. McKenzie singled and scored back in the first. In his first game, hitting leadoff for the Firebirds. Marcano with a 3-step lead at first as the sun sets. A throw that way, and he'll continue to put some dirt on those white pants and camo tops. And the count, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Meanwhile, it's 3-14 down the right field line, so it certainly favors left-handed hitters like a Jared McKenzie or a Chase DeLauder if you're going to try and pull one down the right field line.
McFarland's 1-1. Fastball on the outside for a strike. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the sophomore out of Baylor. McKenzie, well, he's been hot. 5 RBIs in his last 3 games. He's got 8 on the season as a whole. And that's why we see him up in this leadoff spot, Gareth. He's been the hottest bat next to Trey Harmon in this lineup. Harmon currently hitting in the 5 spot, the senior out of Stetson, with a little more power than McKenzie. 1-2. Off the outside. Fastball misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count. McKenzie, a big collision at Wareham back on July 16th with Jack Bolger. Wasn't sure if we were going to see him again. And boy, are we happy he's back in the lineup, healthy and playing his best baseball all summer. Marcano with his lead at first, 1 out, 3-2 Chatham, top 5. 2-2. Low and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jared McKenzie.
A couple of guys getting loose in each bullpen for Chatham and Orleans. For the Anglers, it's Sebastian Keene, right-hander from Northeastern, who's getting loose.
The payoff pitch on its way. No. A throwback to first. Quick tag applied by the first baseman Mendham, but Marcano beats it with a slide back in. As whoever's doing laundry among the analytics guys is not happy with Alex Mcfarlane right now. David Marcano's doing a lot of sliding at first base. Three-two offering. There goes Marcano. And a swing and a foul down the left field line. 92 on the fastball. McKenzie a late hack, and he'll wait another 3-2 pitch.
And it looks like Nicholas Luke from Adelphi is getting loose for the Firebirds. And he was just activated a couple of days ago onto the roster. He'll be looking to make his Orleans debut after Rajic tonight.
The revolving door of Orleans Firebirds continues with a new pitcher with 5 games left. 3-2. And McKenzie slaps one foul over towards the red nun. Down the left field line into the parking lot. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And even though McKenzie has a .224 batting average, and what we've seen a lot throughout the summer, Carlo, he sees a lot of pitches. And he makes these pitchers work in at-bats. He fouls off a lot of stuff.
Only 12 strikeouts and 71 at-bats. Marcano with a head-first slide back to first, another throw that way. And you got to imagine, Gareth, with how much Marcano made Mcfarlane work, and now McKenzie making Mcfarlane work. He's already into his longest outing of the summer. This has to be the last inning for the righty. A packed crowd, a cool night, and a beautiful Saturday at Veterans Field. Firebirds and Chatham, 3-2. Marcano's running, and the pitch is away for ball 4. David Marcano started into a slide and then held up, realizing there was no throw. He kind of caught himself from face planting into second base. And up comes Luke Keischel, looking to end an 0-for-11 streak with 2 on and 1 out.
So that was an 8-pitch at-bat from Jared McKenzie. And we've seen him time after time. The amount of foul balls he's deposited on the Route 28 here at home, and he's doing it today against Alex Mcfarlane.
Righty on righty. First pitch, Keischel takes low for a strike. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. The tying run at second in David Marcano. The go-ahead at first in Jared McKenzie. Luke Keischel, who had an 11-game hitting streak in which he hit .500. Looking for a big-time hit. 0 for his last 11. 3-2 Chatham, top 5. 0-1. Keischel fouls one off down the right field line, and he's in the hole and back on his heels. No balls and 2 strikes. Veterans Field across the fire station in Chatham with a hill all along right field and trees in left. Grandstand seating behind the plate with a playground down the right field line. And some more seating towards the Firebirds dugout down right. As an 0-2, and looking back at second is Mcfarland. Marcano back on his feet. And these two teams, two of the most storied franchise and two of the best stadiums on the Cape. I mean, Veterans Field, Eldridge Park, that's the cream of the crop. 0-2. And Keishel fists one on the infield over towards the second baseman, Soretti. He's on the back pedal. The former Firebird into the outfield grass makes the catch. And there's two away with two on. Orleans looking to salvage an opportunity, and up comes Chase DeLauder. DeLauder walked and scored back in the first. Chase has reached safely in his last 15 games. Third longest streak of the summer for anybody on the Cape, and it's active. Extended to 16 with that walk in the first. 3-2 Chatham. Top five. 2 outs, 2 on. Runners at second and first. And the first pitch to DeLauder. And he takes a strike downstairs. 91 on the fastball. No balls and 1 strike. Big number on the scoreboard is the 3 errors for Orleans. Coming into this game, Firebirds' lowest amount of errors on the summer. 0-1 misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And for Gareth, when you see a large number under the E category, especially for this Orleans team, it's not a good sign. Firebirds only down a run, though, with the tying run at second, the go-ahead at first. 1-1 to DeLauder. Misses away again, 91 on the fastball, 2 balls and a strike. The Snack Jack, you can smell the popcorn from here or by the press box as the sky turns a light blue and the lights get a little brighter. 2-1 to the plate. Skips in the dirt. Romero keeps it in front of him. And the count, 3 balls and 1 strike.
And it's a business decision now for Mcfarland. Does he come in here to DeLauder, or does he load the bases and try and face Tyler Locklear? This is what happens when you stack these two up, the Bash Bros, 3 and 4 in the order.
The top 2 home run leaders on the Cape, 9 apiece. Who will finish in first? 3-1. DeLauder swinging away, slices one foul down the third base line. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Orleans has never had one of their players lead the league in home runs in the last 20 years. Again, that's as far back as we can look. So who knows how long it's been. It's at least been 20 years. But with 2 guys who hit back-to-back in the lineup who lead the league in home runs, it's a good start with 5 games left. 3-2. Runners go. Swinging a line drive into left. Coming in, the left fielder, Tranquil. He can't make the catch. Rounding third on his way home is David Marcano. And it's an RBI single for Chase DeLauder. The Firebirds have tied this one up at 3 here at Veterans Field.
The first baseman, number 28, Tyler Locklear.
Tranquil tried to come in on the dive, did a good job of keeping it in front of him, which kept Jared McKenzie at third. And for Chase DeLauder, RBI number 20 on the summer with a go-ahead run 90 feet away in Jared McKenzie. Locklear, right-handed batter. Got his workout in today with Alex Simone. Had to ask. 2 on, 2 out. Top 5, 3-3, first pitch. Locklear swinging away, pops one up straight back, over towards the parking lot. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. McKenzie at third, DeLauder at first. Firebirds looking to retake the lead. Jumped out 2-0. Chatham scored 3 unanswered, and the Firebirds with a run in the top of the 5th. And we're neck and neck, 3 apiece. Time is called at the plate by Maxwell Romero Jr. And what most likely is the final inning of work for Alex Mcfarland, and probably the final inning of his time here in Chatham. Can he get one more out and keep this game tied? 0-1. Locklear, another foul back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. Tyler with back-to-back games with multiple hits. First time he's done that all summer since June. The league leader in RBIs on the Cape, looking to add to his lead and give the Firebirds a lead here in the 5th. 0-2. Way upstairs. 91 behind that pitch. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tyler Locklear.
Pitch number 86 coming up now for Alex Mcfarland. And as we talked about, this has got to be his last inning with Sebastian Keene in the bullpen warming up.
Chatham and Orleans, the final time at Veterans Field. 1-2. And Locklear bounces one to short. Josh Rivera, the shortstop, underhand flips to second for Soretti. Stands. They get the force on DeLauder, and that will do it. The Firebirds bring a run across on 1 hit, and it's an RBI single by Chase DeLauder that scores David Marcano. 3-3 here at the top of the 5th inning. We'll step aside and come right back on the Birds Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the Birds Broadcast Network. Carlo Jimenez alongside my good friend Gareth Klock. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Orleans Firebirds tying things up in the visitor half of the 5th. We are even at 3 between Chatham and Orleans on a beautiful Saturday night here at Veterans Field. First pitch to the lefty, Soretti, and he comes out swinging, pops it up over towards the Chatham press box down the left field line. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. It will be the top of the lineup against Max Rajic. Soretti, Trinkle, Rivera, and what is most likely Rajic's last inning of work. 0-1. Just misses off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Rajic, his longest outing of the summer is 4 1/3, 1-1, and a sharply hit ground ball towards second. Chatinier, the second baseman, to his left, stabs it and lobs to first. A good job by Peyton on a ball that was hit hard right at him at second base. And down goes Danny Soretti. 1 more out, and Max Rajic has his longest outing of the summer.
And you can tell that Rajic, they're slowly trying to work up that pitch count. This is just going to be his last start of the summer.
Left-handed batter Caden Trinkle swings at the first pitch and fouls one down the left field line. Trinkle tried to make a play in left back in the top of the 5th inning. A sliding play on a Chase DeLauder looping line drive. The ball would drop in front of him, and the Firebirds evened it up, 0-1. And he breaks his bat, bloops one into right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Caden Trinkle with a 1-out knock. The go-ahead run on the base paths for the Chatham Anglers. And in stands Josh Rivera.
So Max Rajic went from a hard 3 innings or 45 pitch count in his first start to now he's getting 5 innings and his pitch count now over 70. And so that's what 6 starts, and that's what this time on the Cape will do for you, for a guy who's trying to become a weekend starter for a UCLA team that, as always, has very high expectations going into any college baseball season for John Savage.
Runner at first with 1 out. Right-handed batter Josh Rivera takes a first pitch ball low. And the count 1 ball and no strikes to him. 5 hits, 3 errors for Orleans. 4 hits, no errors for Chatham. But where it counts, we're even at 3. With 1 out in the bottom of the 5th, Rajic stares in his 1 out. Fastball at the bottom of the knees for a strike. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Rivera. Rivera, an RBI single in the first, struck out looking to end the third. Rajic trying to go his longest outing of the summer as he throws back to first, and back on a head-first slide is Caden Trenkle. Trenkle with 3 stolen bases on the summer. The outfielder out of Oklahoma State. 1-0. And a ground ball up the middle. Chatinier, the second baseman, dives to his left. He flips to second, trying to get Trenkle, not in time. Marcano was running over late. And an infield single for Josh Rivera, his second hit of the game. Chatham now has the go-ahead run in scoring position with 1 out for Maxwell Romero Jr.
Yeah, fantastic diving stop by Chanier to keep that ball in the infield. However, just unable to get up in time and get rid of the ball quickly. His only play was to go to second, and even then, it was going to be tough to have to make a backhanded throw behind your body. And Chatham's back in business here again. And will Kelly Nicholson, how much time does he leave in Max Rajic before going into the bullpen?
Romero doubled down the right field line his last time up. We're even at 3. 2 on, 1 out, bottom 5. The pitch, and the lefty swings and grounds one foul down the right field line. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Almost thought we were seeing a replay of his first double. Just a soft looper down the line that got underneath the glove of Tyler Locklear, the first baseman. And he was able to dig for 2. Exciting baseball at Veterans Field. A cool, beautiful July 9th, the last night of July. Thanks for joining us here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Carlo Jimenez alongside Gareth Kwok. 0-1. Misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it's been back and forth baseball. Firebirds with 2 runs in the top of the first. Chatham with singletons in the first, the third, and the fourth. Firebirds tied the game in the top of the 5th. And Max Rajic trying to go the distance through 5 innings and keep this game tied. He looks at second. He looks in. 1-1. Breaking ball misses high. 2 balls and a strike to Romero. The fleeting moments of daylight, a packed Veterans Field. Standing room only behind home plate. Lawn chairs out in right field. 2-1. Strike nicks the outside edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Romero.
Yeah, this is the second time we've been here at Veterans Field. First time since the second game of the season, Carlo, and the fan base not disappointing. They're trying to see the last couple of home games here at Veterans Field.
2-2. Off the outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes and a full count to Romero with Trenkle at second, Rivera at first. We are even at 3 in the bottom of the 5th.
You just don't see Max Rajic get all that frustrated that often, but he misses away with that breaking ball and lets out a little bit of anger.
Nicholas Luck getting warm in the pen for Orleans. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Big time strikeout. Gets Romero. The third of the game for Max Rajic. And he has officially had his longest outing of the summer. Can he get out of the jam with 2 on and 2 out against the man who has all 4 hits of his summer against the Orleans Firebirds, the right-handed bat of Nolan Mclean. Mclean, an RBI single back in the 4th, reached second on the air by the center fielder. At second leads Trenkle, at first Rivera. Rajic deals. And Mclean loops one over the leaping head of the first baseman Locklear and into right field. Rounding third, coming home, and scoring is Trenkle. On to third goes Josh Rivera. An RBI single for Nolan Mclean, who continues his hot streak against Orleans. And it is 4-3, Chatham back on top in the bottom of the 5th. Second RBI, second hit of the game for the sophomore out of Oklahoma State. And in stands Kenny Lavari, as out comes Kelly Nicholson, and that might be it for the pitcher out of UCLA. It's time to see Nicholas Luke for the first time this summer. Out of Adelphi, he will relieve Rajic, who went his longest outing of the summer, but was unable to get out of the 2-on, 2-out situation in the bottom of the 5th. Oh, I spoke too soon. They're going to leave him out there. Kelly Nicholson makes the mound visit, does not point to the pen, and Max Rajic is going to remain in the game.
Yeah, well, we don't often see too many times where Kelly Nicholson comes out and leaves the pitcher in. That might be one of the few instances that we've seen him do that. Oftentimes he's when he comes out, he's making a pitching change, but he's leaving Rajic out here and to try to get this final out.
First pitch to lefty Lavari, and he takes a strike on the outside. No balls and 1 strike. Facing a guy in Kenny Lavari who's just 1 for his last 12 in his last 4 games. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Chatham has retaken the lead, 4-3, bottom 5. 0-1, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Lavari, and Rajic is a strike away. Can he go 5? 3 singles and a run across, and a back-and-forth game. It's 4-3 Chatham. The lights are on. It's back to Veterans Field. No wind. 0-2. Misses inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lavari. And just the perfect setting for baseball. Fans all around. The Snack Shack smells drifting across the field. 1-2. Breaking ball just off the outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lavari.
I mean, those are 2 really good 2-strike pitches right on the corner there that home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa not ringing up Kenny Lavari for.
Rivera at third, McLean at first. The 2-2 low. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. So a full count to Lavari. 0-2 to 3-2. 4-3. Chatham leads Orleans. Bottom 5, 2 outs. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Lavari. Can Rajic get through 5 with a 1-run game, or will Chatham tag him for another? The final trip to Veterans Field for the Birds. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Kenny Lavari. 4th strikeout for Max Rajic, and that does it for the bottom of the 5th inning. Rajic gets the final out, and he'll head to the dugout. Fist bumps all around. Chatham brings across a run. 3 hits, 2 left on. 1 comes in. It's 4-3. The Anglers on top of the Firebirds. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Noah Searson. Noah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Carlo. So through half the game tonight, intensity is still there, although these 2 teams are playoff eliminated. And a big reason why is in this final 5-game stretch, there's still a lot to prove for a lot of guys out here, especially when scouts are still coming to the game. And I talked to Perfect Games Jeff Pontus, who's been on the Cape all summer, going to various games, kind of prospecting the whole area. And he told me that while it's nice to see the guys' intangibles and see them, light it up in batting practice, nothing matters until they do it in the game. So these final games, you'll see guys, really putting all their best foot forward because they've still got a lot to prove. He said guys can have the skills, they can show it in all other aspects on paper, be the best, but if they can't do it in a game-like situation, none of that matters. And he also said it helps out kind of find the diamonds in the rough, if you will. A guy like Chase DeLauder before this summer, he put up great stats at JMU, but also that's JMU. So when he does it here, that legitimizes him and turns him into what Jeff Pontus called a top 20 prospect in the 2023 draft. So there's still a lot to prove, a lot of money, potential money to be made for these guys, and why games like this are still a lot of fun, still a lot of intensity, although there aren't playoff implications on the field. So for pitchers, batters, and everyone in between, every at-bat, every pitch matters, because at the end of the day, it means raising their stocks for the 2023 and 2024 draft class, guys.
Thanks so much, Noah, for the insight. Chase DeLauder from off a lot of draft boards to a top 20 prospect. Man, that's what the Cape will do for you. 4-3 Chatham leads as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Carlo Jimenez alongside my roommate, Gareth Kwok, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Chatham Anglers. From North Andover, Massachusetts, Sebastian Keene making the 2-hour drive over to Chatham, and the righty will begin his 7th appearance of the summer out of Northeastern University. What can we expect from the Massachusetts native?
Yeah, from Sebastian Keene, he'll throw from a low 3/4 slot. The right-hander with a fastball that'll touch around 89 to 90. He'll get a couple 91, 92s. He does have a big, slow curveball and a slider. Does have a changeup that he'll throw from time to time, but not often, and he likes to pound away. So Sebastian Keene, he's a starting pitcher from Northeastern, and right now they're hoping for Chatham that he eats up some innings here and keeps this lead at 1 for the Anglers.
Keene will face Trey Harmon to begin his outing. Final line for Mcfarland. He goes 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. First pitch to the righty. At the knees for a strike. And the count, no balls and 1 strike to the senior out of Stetson. Trey Harmon, 2 for 2 today. A 2 RBI double in the first, a single in the fourth. 0-1. Swing and a miss. And he's in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Keene stares in on this beautiful Saturday night in Chatham, Massachusetts. 0-2. Misses inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Harmon. The crowd filling every seat. And the grandstand behind the plate and down and right. Blankets spread across right center field. With the fleeting moments of daylight. 1-2. And a swing and a hot shot on the ground over towards the Firebirds dugout. Hopefully everybody's all right. Jared McKenzie jumping out of the way. That ball was coming right at him. He walks back into the back of the dugout. Hopefully he's fine. Looks like that might have gotten a piece of him. And the count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Keens, 1-2. Up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Harmon. Sebastian Kean, drafted in the 2019 MLB draft in the 11th round by his hometown team, the Red Sox, but decided, I want to play baseball somewhere else in Massachusetts. As here's a swing and a foul over the top of the screen. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Went to Northeastern. Was the best high school pitcher out of the state in 2019. And in his freshman year had a 4 ERA. 2-2. Misses inside. Trey Harmon 0-2 to 3-2 with nobody out. Beginning this top of the 6th inning. Chatham 4, Orleans 3. Another good one between these two rivals. Playing their final 2 games against each other in this home-and-home series. The front half today. 3-2. And a big chopper left side of the infield. Backhanded by the shortstop Rivera. Long throw to first. Not in time. Harmon beats it out. And an infield single for Trey Harmon. His 3rd hit of the game. And he just continues to rake.
The left fielder, number 7, Julio Marcano.
I mean, it's a guy that right now is finding that barrel on the ball every time he comes up to bat, and he's getting into one of those zones that you like to see late in the game. And I'm sure for scouts that maybe didn't have him on their radar, Trey Harmon making a little push for himself toward the end of the season.
Right-handed batter Marcano looks on towards King and swings at the first pitch and fouls it straight back. Harmon was at home in Florida training by himself when he got a call from Kelly Nicholson that said, hey, do you want to come play some summer baseball? All he's done is hit .317 and been one of the best bats in the lineup for Orleans. Keene kicks 0-1. Marcano rakes one into left center field. That's going to drop in front of the center fielder, DeLeo. Back-to-back knocks for the Firebirds. And they have the tying and go-ahead runs on the base paths with nobody out. As up comes Peyton Chatinier.
One of the interesting things that Julio Marcano talked to us about postgame was how he was such a good off-speed hitter during the regular season in college. But then here on the Cape, it's a lot of more fastball than off-speed, and he just wasn't really hitting the fastball. He gets a fastball here and lines it into left center field, and the Firebirds now have the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first for Peyton Chanier with nobody out.
Chanier, righty on righty. Shows bunt, the pitch. And he pulls back the bunt, takes the ball low. The count 1 ball and no strikes. Peyton steps out of the box, restraps the Ole Miss glove, adjusts the helmet, and digs back in. The infield is in, especially at the corners, as the Firebirds look to tie the game up. Harmon, the tying run at second. Marcano, the go-ahead at first. Chatinier shows bunt. 1-0. And he bunts one back towards the pitcher. Kean looks at second, lobs to first. And Peyton Chatinier does his job, moves both runners over into scoring position. And the Firebirds with a golden opportunity with 1 out. And Trey Harmon at third, David Marcano at second, as in stands Julio Marcano at second, as in stands David Marcano.
And that's a perfectly executed sack bunt that we haven't seen happen a whole lot. Some guys come in there and they just can't get it down the first 2 pitches. They get behind 0-2 and they have to swing away. But Chanier avoids getting into a 2-strike count, gets to that pitch he likes, out over the middle of the plate, and just lays it down right in front.
Right-handed batter David Marcano looks on. First pitch home. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball has him out in front. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Marcano, another story like Trey Harmon. Didn't think he was going to be playing summer baseball. And here he is with the Firebirds, one of their best shortstops on the roster after rejecting an internship with the Mets. 0-1. Looks at a ball low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Top 6. Firebirds' final visit to Veterans Field, and they trail the Chatham Anglers 4-3. These 2 teams have been trading runs back and forth all game long. And Orleans looking to tie this one up and possibly retake the lead. 1-1. Another breaking ball catches the outside part of the plate. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes from David Marcano.
And Tom Holliday's opting to play this infield back. However, the outfield playing in. So Marcano here, he's got to put this ball in play to drive in the go-ahead or the tying run.
The lights at their full brightness as the sun has set. 1-2. David takes one in the dirt off the outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A crowded Veterans Field. The seats packed. Standing room only. And the Firebirds looking for a win. A home and home. Their next 4 games will be all part of home and homes. 1 against Chatham, then 2 against Harwich. 2-2. David Marcano takes away. 3 balls and 2 strikes with first base open. And Garrett Guillemette awaiting his turn on deck. Trey Harmon at third. Julio Marcano at second. Can his older brother by 5 minutes, David Marcano, bring him home? 4-3 Chatham in the top of the 6th. Payoff pitch. Off the outside. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. Firebirds with an opportunity against Sebastian Keene. It will be up to the sophomore out of USC, Garrett Guillemette, with the bases juiced and just 1 out. For David Marcano, it's the second walk he has taken, and now Maxwell Romero Jr. wants to go talk to his pitcher, Sebastian Keene. As this game hangs in the balance, Firebirds have a chance to take their second lead of the game. Jumped out 2-0. Chatham scored 3 unanswered. Firebirds tied it up at 3 in the 5th, and Chatham retook the lead in the bottom of the inning. Jamie Quinn, the first base coach, puts his arm around Garrett Guillemette and talks to the catcher, gives him a pat on the bat, and Garrett will walk back to the plate. The base is loaded for the Orleans Firebirds. Garrett Guillemette, who hits .444 on the season with runners in scoring position, will try to continue his success. Harmon at third, Julio Marcano at second, David Marcano at first. Keane, glove pinned against the left hip, right arm dangling by his side, stares in towards Romero. He sets and deals. And the right-handed batter takes a strike on the outside, fastball at 91. And the count, no balls and 1 strike.
When you talked about Guillemette, his .444 and 9 at-bats with the runners in scoring position. However, he has never had an at-bat this summer with the bases loaded.
New beginnings for Garrett Guillemette. 0-1. And he cranks one foul over towards the Firebirds dugout. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Jared McKenzie on deck. He is 1 for 2 today with a single, and he took a walk back in the 5th. 4-3, Chatham over Orleans. Top 6, 3 ducks on the pond. Can the Firebirds bring some home and tie this game and possibly take a lead? 0-2, and a swing and a foul straight back. Garrett Guillemette spoils a fastball, stays alive, and he awaits another 0-2 pitch. Keane reaching deep into his bag, 93 behind that one. The fleeting moments of daylight, just a taste of brightness above the trees and left. Can the Firebirds give their fans something to cheer about who've made the trip to Chatham? 0-2. Just misses away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gilliman. Garrett looks at the bat, steps back in, taps the plate twice. That California bat shipped from his dad with the California Bear on the barrel. Going to make a difference here in Chatham. 1-2. And he swings and fouls one over the screen, back behind the bathrooms. And about 15 kids will converge looking for the bouncing ball that trickles into the parking lot. And Gilliman awaits another 1-2 pitch. Harmon at third. Julio Marcano at second. His twin brother, David Marcano, at first. Bases loaded. 1 out, top 5. 4-3 Chatham over Orleans. 1-2. Gilliman taps one behind the plate. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. A battle now between Gilliman and Kean. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. And it has not been easy for Sebastian Kean coming in relief for Alex Mcfarland. Already 24 pitches in this inning with only 1 out recorded, 2 singles allowed, and a walk. He sets at the belt, likes the first sign he sees, and the 1-2. And Gilliman skies one straight back. Romero, the catcher, looking for it into foul territory down the third base line. He'll make the catch. An unproductive out for Garrett Gilliman, just what the doctor ordered for Chatham. And there's 2 outs with the bases full in the top of the 6th, and it's up to the sophomore out of Baylor, Jared McKenzie. And just not the result you want to see from Gilliman. Anything into the outfield that's hit hard, that's a run. And the tying run for Orleans. Now with 2 outs and the bases full, down 4-3, Firebirds need McKenzie to come through. Left-handed batter looks towards Kean, righty on lefty. McKenzie 1 for 2 today with a walk. Singled and scored in the first, was the first run of the game for Orleans. And the pitch. Misses inside. And the count 1 ball and no strikes to him. Trey Harmon at third. Julio Marcano at second. David Marcano at first. And the Firebirds capitalize with the bases full. Kean's 1 up. Misses low. 2 balls and no strikes to Jared McKenzie.
That's one of the disadvantages of having that sack bunt to get runners on second and third. Sure, you get those guys in the scoring position. You are giving yourself up for 1 out. Now with the Gilliman unproductive out, it's 2 down, and for a guy like McKenzie, there's really no more room for error here to try and capitalize.
2-0, and he swings and fouls one straight back. Gareth Kwok thought that ball was coming right for him.
Hey.
Dodges to his left.
Hey, don't need to tell them, all right? Come on now.
Where's your glove?
I didn't bring it. I thought I didn't need to bring my glove here, but maybe I should have.
Huh? Hopefully not. The bases are full. The infield is back with 2 outs, and it's a 4-3 Chatham lead over Orleans. Kean's 2-1, and McKenzie another foul. Straight over the press box and back towards the school. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both teams trading runs in the 5th. Orleans tied it at 3. Chatham took a 4-3 lead. 2 teams eliminated from the playoffs. Playing for pride at this point. And what has been an intense game here at Veterans. Top 6, bases loaded, 2 outs, a 2-2 count to the lefty. The pitch. And a swing and a foul over our heads. Back towards the playground. And about 15 young kids sprinting with no regard for their body for that ball. I mean,
no regard for their bodies.
I mean, they're throwing their bodies around, rocks and all. It is all-out warfare for a foul ball. I'm just glad I wasn't here when I was 15. I'd be going home with a bloody nose. 2-2. Strike three on the inside. McKenzie down looking, and the Firebirds strand them all. The bases are loaded with one out, and Sebastian Keane works out of it. We will head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Chatham protects the 4-3 lead.
All right, fans, tonight's game is sponsored by Curry College. Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including fifth-year master's programs at www.curry.edu. Tonight's game is also sponsored by the 99 Restaurants. The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous colossal lobster rolls piled high on grilled brioche and served hot, buttered, or with just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the real deal. And tonight's game is sponsored by Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
Appreciate it, Gareth. Again, great as always as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Firebirds loaded the bases in the top of the inning, and not a single run came across with one out. And now the newest pitcher added to the Orleans Firebirds will begin his first outing of the summer. It's the rising senior out of Adelphi University, a D2 university. It will be Nicholas Luke, the right-handed pitcher. Luke was the Friday starter and the ace for Adelphi and led the team with a 3.52 ERA. He was named Northeastern 10 All-Conference third-teamer and Northeastern 10 All-Championship team. And Gareth, he comes here from not too far away. He was playing in the Hamptons League, where he had a 2.29 ERA, walked just 8 batters, struck out 53 in 31 and a thirds. And he will finish up his summer with Orleans, slated to come in relief today and then start the final game of the year at Brewster on Wednesday.
Yeah, and for a guy like Luke who comes in here, and, you know, there's still some guys that are coming in and out. Patrick Riley has left and headed home. Same with Connor Housley. And so there's some guys right now for this bullpen and that need some reinforcements. And here's Nicholas Luke, who comes in and is going to provide some long relief and keep this deficit at 1. What we're going to see from him is a fastball, not overpowering velocity. It'll sit around 89, 90 miles an hour. And he does have a good slider and changeup. And like you talked about, he was absolutely dominating in the Hamptons Collegiate League. I mean, his stats were better than his actual regular season stats at Adelphi, and so hopefully he can keep his hot streak going from the Hamptons here now to the Cape.
He'll face the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Chatham. Left-handed batter of David Mendham against Nicholas Luke. His first appearance with Orleans, and hoping it's a good one. Firebirds down 4-3 to Chatham. Luke will hope to keep it that way here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The wind is quiet, the seats are packed, and it's a beautiful Saturday night of baseball at Veterans Field. Luke exhales, his first pitch is a bird. And that gets David Mendham on the right elbow. He'll take the base and the bruise. And not a dream start for Nicholas Luke. He hits the first batter he sees. Well, it's one way to get the nerves out.
Yeah, that's one way. I mean, it looked like it was a breaking ball that slipped out of his hand because the miles per hour on that one was at 81.
Got to imagine here for Luke, coming from Adelphi, this is a high-pressure situation for him, and the nerves are going. First pitch, Lyle Miller Green, the righty, takes a strike at the knees. No balls in one strike. I mean, a guy, you know, you go to a D2 university, you don't see a whole lot of scouts. Then you go to the Hamptons League, which is a good league, but certainly in no comparison to Cape. And so now the eyes are on you. And how do you perform? Runner at first is Mendham, 0-1. And Lyle Miller Green fouls one over towards the light post. It hits the lights. No extra points, though. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and having the pitch at Chatham in front of this sellout crowd here for your first appearance ever. I mean, it's something you've been working toward to, but it doesn't really hit you until you're out on that mound and having to deal a pitch, and I'm sure it's taken him by surprise a little bit.
0-2 to Lyle Miller Green. Swing and a miss. The Cape leader in strikeouts strikes out for the first time today as Lyle Miller-Green sits down. And there's one away with a runner at first.
And there you go. Well, you hit your first batter with your first pitch, but then you come back and get your first strikeout with a pitch in the dirt against Lyle Miller-Green. How about a nice little bounce back for Nick Luke on the mound?
You were talking about it, Gareth. I mean, there's no better welcome to the Cape than Saturday night Chatham Orleans. This is as good as it gets. Right-handed batter Jake DeLeo looks at a strike on the outside, 93 from Luke. And the count, no balls and one strike. We want to talk about what the Cape is all about. Veterans Field on a Saturday night between Orleans and Chatham on a packed house on the last day of July. 0-1. Strike two, paints the outside. No balls and two strikes. DeLeo reached on an error in the third, grounded out to short in the fourth. Chatham 4, Orleans 3, bottom 6. One out, and at first is David Mendham for the 9-hole hitter DeLeo. Luke's 0-2. Downstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Firebirds only made 2 trips to Veterans in 2021, today, and this first road game of the summer, June 21st. We did come here July 3rd, and we all huddled under a tent and waited for the game to be called because of rain. Although I wouldn't really count that a trip here. 1-2. And a ground ball to third. Third baseman Keishel's going to go to second for 1. Chatnier's turn is not in time. They get the lead runner in Mendham. And Jake DeLeo reaches on the fielder's choice. Although the Firebirds did get here on the bus on July 3rd, and then right as they showed up, were told to turn around. So they made the trip. I guess if you don't count getting off, if they didn't actually get off the bus, did they make the trip? I don't know. Technicals will be figured out later. Point is, this is the second time we're playing here.
All I remember from that day is when we just all hung out here at our broadcast table with the tent over, and there was about a dozen of us huddled in because of the rain.
Lefty Danny Soretti, the leadoff hitter, takes the ball low, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. 4-3 Chatham, bottom 6. Did you enjoy the hanging out with us, or was it too much?
Well, I enjoyed it for like maybe 15 minutes, and then when we were just standing there for basically 45 minutes, I just figured, okay, what's going on here? We should probably go home. Or
the 1-0 just misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. It was July 3rd. Tropical storm hit the Cape, and so nobody played that day. That was kind of the message. Cape thought maybe this game would get in because it was the 7 o'clock start. And that was just not the case. 2-0, runner goes. Swinging a ground ball in between the third baseman Keishel and the shortstop David Marcano and into left field. The hit and run executed. Stopping at second is DeLeo after taking off from first. Danny Soretti picks up his first hit of the game. And up stumps Caden Trinkle. And Chatham, with a runner in scoring position, trying to spark a little 2-out rally and add to their 4-3 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Soretti just able to poke one into left. Maybe if DeLeo wasn't running on that play, David Marcano might have had a chance to get to that baseball. But on his way towards second, and the ball was right where he was. First pitch to lefty Trinkle. Misses away. 1 ball and no strikes. Caden Trinkle, the difference in this game right now. Singled back in the 5th, came around to score in the inning on the RBI by Nolan Mclean. And that is why Chatham leads 4-3, and we're not even at 3. 2 on, 2 out, bottom 6. Luke looks at second, looks home, 1-0. Breaking ball misses away. 2 balls and no strikes. Now to Trinkle. Firebirds had the bases loaded. In the top of the 6th with 1 out, couldn't score a run. Nicholas Luke in his first outing with Orleans, trying to keep this a 1-run game. A 2-0. Finds the top of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. A good 2-0 pitch from Luke. At second, DeLeo. At first, Soretti. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. And Nicholas Luke, a strike away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and 2 on. 7 hits apiece, 3 runs for the Birds, none for the Anglers. But where it matters, it's 4-3 Chatham. Luke looks at second towards DeLeo, looks back in, takes another peek. 2-2. Runners go. Strike 3 on the outside. Second strikeout for Nicholas Luke, and he gets out of the jam in the bottom of the 6th inning. We remain a 1-run game. Chatham 4, Orleans 3. 1 hit, 2 left on. No runs come across. Gareth Kwok will have us the rest of the way. Firebirds down 1 with 3 innings to go.
Top 7 here from Veterans Field. Gareth Kwok alongside Carlo Jimenez here on the Birds Broadcast Network, as well as our sideline reporter Noah Searson. Luke Keischel, Chase DeLauder, and Tyler Locklear dude up against Sebastian Keene at the Northeastern in the first pitch inside that backs Keischel off the plate, 1-0. 4-3 Anglers. 3 more innings left in this one. In Orleans' final visit to Veterans Field, the 1-0. And Keischel takes inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Firebirds with 3 runs on 7 hits. They have committed 3 errors on defense. Anglers with 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors. As Keischel, 2-0 pitch, sends one high and deep, well hit to center field. Near the warning track into the triangle. By the 385 marker is the center fielder DeLeo, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
So for Keischel, hitting one hard, but just right towards center. Firebirds have had so many opportunities, it feels like, Gareth. Got to capitalize here. They've left 5 on base the last 2 innings.
Here's Chase DeLauder now. Left-handed batter from James Madison awaits the first pitch, and it's a fastball that is outside for ball 1. Sebastian Keene, who came on into this ball game in the top of the 6th, gave up back-to-back base hits. 1-0. Pumps in a fastball low. 2-0 to DeLauder. A sac bunt by Peyton Chanier gave Orleans runners on second and third. A walk to David Marcano. The bases were loaded. He got a foul out and then a strikeout to get out of the inning unscathed. As he misses with a fastball away on the 2-0, it's 3-0 now to DeLauder with Tyler Locklear on deck. The rising sophomore from Northeastern, from North Andover, Massachusetts, not too far away here from Chatham. 3-0. DeLauder takes a fastball right down the middle for strike 1, 3-1. Had very good numbers for the Huskies this spring. 73 strikeouts over 20 walks in 70 1/3 innings pitched as DeLauder takes the 3-1 low for ball 4, and the tying run is on board for Orleans in Chase DeLauder at first base.
DeLauder now with 18 walks on the summer after that one. Gareth, he has passed Justin Mickness for the team lead in walks. He really hasn't seen anything to hit these past couple of games.
Well, opposing pitchers have been very selective and choosy with how they approach DeLauder. Not coming in whatsoever and really just pounding away. But Chase is on base, and here's Tyler Locklear, who takes a first pitch fastball outside for ball one. One ball to Tyler Locklear, who's 1 for 3 tonight with a single. He's also flown out to center and reached down the fielder's choice. 1-0. Swing and a miss on the fastball inside. Locklear was trying to put Orleans ahead by 1. With that swing, count even at 1. Chatham 4, Orleans 3. Firebirds struck first with 2 runs to start off the ball game in the first inning. DeLauder with his lead at first. The pitch. Locklear off the hands, fouls one off toward the light post down the right field line, and it's now 1-2. Anglers responded with a run back in the bottom of the first. And then Anglers scored a run each from innings 3 through 5 to give Chatham a 4-3 lead up until this point here. Top 7, runner at first, 1 out. The pitch. Locklear with a high fly ball down the right field line. Over toward the foul line is the right fielder, Miller Green, and he reaches up to make the catch near the foul line for out number 2. DeLauder holds at first, and there's 2 away now for the hottest hitter in the lineup. And hottest hitter right now, Trey Harmon, who's 3 for 3 with a double and 2 singles. A 2-run double back in the first inning, a single in the 4th, and a single in the 6th. He's the go-ahead run at the plate for the Orleans Firebirds. Sebastian Keene, the right-hander, ready. First pitch. Swing and a miss. 91 miles an hour. And it's 0-1. Harmon is 6 for 7 with 3 doubles versus the Chatham Anglers. Something about the A's, and he loves to hit against them. 0-1. DeLauder runs. The pitch is high. Romero's throw down to second. The slide from DeLauder. Safe! DeLauder gets the foot in just ahead of the tag, and the throw from Max Romero Jr. to Danny Soretti. That's Chase's 5th stolen bag on the summer. He's in scoring position. And Trey Harmon with an opportunity to tie up this game.
And you send DeLauder because you want Harmon up with a runner in scoring position with the way he's swinging the bat.
1 ball, 1 strike. A look over at second, and now he steps off the slab, forces DeLauder back to second. Third baseman Mclean hugging the line over at third. Second baseman Soretti holding DeLauder at second. 1-1 pitch. Harmon takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. 1-2. Julio Marcano on deck for Orleans. Firebirds will be back to host Chatham tomorrow night, 7 p.m. first pitch. We'll have pregame at 6:45 from Eldridge Park. And that will be the final meeting between these 2 ball clubs for this summer. Keene staring into Romero. Now look over to second, the 1-2. Harmon takes a fastball on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Has a few words for home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa, right on the outside black. And for Sebastian Keene, his second strikeout of the outing for the right-hander at the Northeastern. 1 walk, 1 left on for Orleans in the top half of the 7th inning. Let's head now to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time here from Veterans Field. It's Chatham 4, Orleans 3, right here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Seventh inning stretch time here from Chatham with the Firebirds down by 1. Anglers 4, Firebirds 3. Last of the 7th and the middle of the order due up for Chatham. Josh Rivera, Max Romero, and Nolan Mclean. The 3, 4, and 5 batters due up against Nick Luke out of Adelphi. And the righty throws and pumps in a first pitch strike at the knees for strike 1. 0-1 to Josh Rivera, who's 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI double and a single. Right-handed batter, the Florida Gator, awaits the 0-1 from Nick Luke. From the stretch, the pitch. And it skips past Garrett Gillimet and goes to the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick Luke out for his second inning. On the first pitch tonight for the right-hander here on the Cape, he hit the guy, but bounced back nicely as the 1-1 pitch. It's a soft bouncer to third. Keishel charging on the edge of the grass, fires to first. Got him. Rivera out by a half step as his helmet comes flying off along the first base side. First base umpire Jeff Merzel picks up his helmet and tosses it back to Rivera, who is unhappy with the result of the play. 1 away for now the slugger from Vanderbilt, Max Romero Jr.
Yeah, Rivera thought he had another infield single in his third hit of the night. You know you're fast when the helmet comes off.
I just found it funny the umpire picked it up for him and said, okay, here you go, here's your helmet. I called you out. Now go back to the dugout. Here's Romero Jr., left-handed bat versus the righty Luke. First offering. Fastball skips in the dirt for ball 1. Nick Luke coming off a stellar summer with the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League for the West Hampton Aviators. 53 strikeouts over 31 in the third innings pitch. I mean, those are video game numbers as Romero swings and fouls one back to the netting. 1 ball, 1 strike. As a matter of fact, he started the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League All-Star game, and he struck out the side in 1 inning of work.
I'd say he did pretty well.
Yeah, pretty good, right? So he's getting his innings here on the Cape before he heads back to school, or everybody heads back to school. 1-1. A check swing from Romero on the pitch, low in the dirt. On the appeal, no, says third base umpire Joseph Labello. 2-1 the count to Romero Jr., who is 1 for 3. He has bounced out to first, he has doubled down the right field line, and he has struck out swinging. Ready for the 2-1. Good breaking ball that wraps around the outside corner. Strike 2 called. Count even at 2.
Question is, Garrett, Luke started the HCBL All-Star game, called it the highlight of his summer. Does this top that?
Might have to ask him post-game.
I want to know.
2-2. Romero pokes one foul toward the Chatham dugout, off toward the third base side. 2-2, which leads me into a great segue. Stay tuned for our Birds post-game show. We'll have exclusive interviews with our sideline reporter, Noah Searson, and we'll get our special guest up into the booth as well. Right after the final out here at Chatham, Birds post-game show. Don't go anywhere.
I won't.
I know you won't. 2-2. Romero pops one up foul over the Chatham press box, right to our left. Remains 2-2 with Nolan Mclean on deck. Luke at the set. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shift is on. Chanier in shallow right. The pitch and a soft tapper speared by Luke with a forehand, and he underhand tosses it to Locklear at first for the out. How about Nick Luke coming off the mound, showing a little bit of athleticism to make the play? 2 down here in the 7th.
Now he's going to have some Division I programs calling him pretty quick if he keeps this up. Adelphi at D2, who actually lost to Southern New Hampshire University in the Northeastern 10 Championship. You know who plays for Southern New Hampshire?
Jeff Pramel?
Jeff Pramel.
Hey.
Little rivalry between those two. Pramel with bragging rights.
Small world. Nolan Mclean, the Orleans Firebird killer, takes a pitch at the knees for a called strike 1. What do you mean? I mean, this guy he's 2 for 3 today with 2 RBIs. He's driven in half of the runs for Chatham, Went 3 for 3 on Wednesday with a 3-run home run. I mean, this dude's unstoppable against Orleans. 0-1 is low and in for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, all I know is if Nolan Mclean had it his way, he'd play Orleans every single day because he doesn't have a hit when he's not playing them.
I just really want to know what goes through his head when the Firebirds pitching compared to any other pitcher out on the mound. 1-1 is a fastball down the middle for a called strike 2. 1-2 with Kenny Lavari, the Old Dominion DH on deck. 4-3 Anglers. Last of the 7th here from Chatham, Massachusetts. You always enjoy coming here to Veterans Field. Great fans, great hospitality. Firebirds, though, trying to get their first win here on the road at Chatham as McLean grounds one foul down the right field line. And it remains 1-2.
Great popcorn, might I add, to your list of things that are great.
And that Snack Shack is very popular here at Veterans Field.
Tori Murphy, our popcorn expert, rating it the best on the Cape. Bold words.
Wow. The 1-2 from Luke. Breaking ball, popped foul, and into the Chatham parking lot. As there goes a dozen kids chasing after that loose ball. 1-2. The count remains to Nolan Mclean, the third baseman from Oklahoma State. Firebirds in the top half of the 8th will have Julio Marcano, Peyton Chanier, and then David Marcano. The 6, 7, 8 batters dewed up to begin the 8th. 1-2 from Luke. And a swing and a miss. McLean goes down swinging. Guillemette picks up the ball, fires over to first to complete the putout. And for Nick Luke, he's got 2 strikeouts to end the 7th. Let's head now to the 8th with Orleans up 4-3. With Chatham up 4-3 here on the Birds Broadcast Network when we come back.
6, 7, 8.
Hi, I'm Steve Anzoni, owner of Fairway Financial and Cape Cod's Retirement Income Specialist. If you want to hit a home run with your retirement income plan, schedule a time to meet with me today.
Get more details at fairwayfinancial.net. That's fairwayfinancial.net.
One large pizza from Sweet Tomatoes and a t-shirt from Cuppies.
Back here on the Birds Broadcast Network, Gareth Kwok alongside Carlo Jimenez and our sideline reporter Noah Searson for this audio-only broadcast. We're on the road. We have 2 more road games after the conclusion of this one. We'll be on the road against Harwich on Tuesday, and then the season finale at Brewster on Wednesday. We'll have 2 more home games, though, as well for our audience, as Julio Marcano stands in against Sebastian Keene, still out for his 3rd inning. And the first pitch to Julio is a slider inside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Julio Marcano, Peyton Chanier, and David Marcano dewed up. The 6, 7, and 8 batters dewed up against the right-hander from Northeastern. Marcano on the 1-0, fouls one back to the netting. Count even at 1 to Julio Marcano. Julio is 1 for 3 today with a single back in the 6th. Firebirds down 1. It's Chatham 4, Orleans 3. And we're in the top of the 8th. From the windup, the 1-1. And Marcano pulls one foul down the left field line. And is now 1-2. Alex Mcfarland started this game for Chatham, the right-hander from the University of Miami. He pitched 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, and 3 runs. walked 3, struck out 4. Keene has come on in for relief and has not yet allowed a run in 2 innings. Trying to make it 3. 1-2. Marcano with a fly ball in the right field, slicing down the line. Over to make the catch is Miller Green near the foul line. And the future Oklahoma State Cowboy makes the catch in right for the first down of the 8th.
Miller Green's been busy out there in right. A lot of slicing line drives that way towards the short porch. Firebirds just down a run to this Chatham Anglers team. But can somebody spark this offense with the bottom of the lineup here in the 8th? Not a lot of outs left to play with, Gareth.
Can it be Peyton Chanier, the Ole Miss second baseman, who takes a first pitch changeup right down the middle for strike 1. Payne today 0 for 2. He has struck out swinging. He has rolled into a double play. And he has placed a sacrifice bunt. 0-1 is a breaking ball that misses away. Count even at 1 to Chanier. Firebirds on the 2-game skid. In danger of making it 3 with a loss tonight. The 1-1. And another changeup right down the middle for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Both teams playing for bragging rights here late in the season, with both teams having been eliminated from playoff contention yesterday. Keene's ready. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Chanier goes down on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. And for Sebastian Keene, his 3rd strikeout of the ball game, and there's 2 down now. And it will not be David Marcano who hits. It's going to be now Jeff Costello who will pinch hit for David here in the 8th spot of the order.
Number 29.
Costello getting the start yesterday against YD. He was 1 for 3 in that game, was hit by a pitch. And now Jeff out of Northeastern onto the mound facing a fellow teammate.
Northeastern versus Northeastern here between these two. And Jeff Costello against right-handed pitchers is 5 for 10 with a double. So he is among the team leaders against righties. Takes a first pitch breaking ball at the knees for a called strike, 0-1.
Does Keene give him anything besides breaking balls when you're going teammate on teammate?
0-1. Another breaking ball, that time a bit inside. Count even at 1.
Because you know, whoever wins here, that's the first thing they're going to say to each other after the game.
Well, I'm sure they'll have a nice post-game conversation. 1-1 is a slider that misses inside. 2 balls and a strike. Justin Mickness has picked up a bat, and he is warming up on deck. He will pinch hit for Garrett Gillimet if Costello reaches here. 2 down, nobody on. The 2-1. Fastball misses outside. 3-1.
There's the first fastball, and it's away.
Chatham 4, Orleans 3. Firebirds need a base runner. Down 1. Nobody on, 2 out. 3-1 pitch. Costello swings and fouls one off down the right field line. And the count runs full 3-2. A pitch black sky out in the distance. And the lights shining down here on the players at Veterans Field in Chatham. 3-2. Keene agrees with Romero Jr. Now comes, set the pitch, and a roller out right back to Sebastian Keene, who spears it and throws to first. And that will end the inning. And Keene giving Costello a little bit of a stare over at first. And that will do it for the top of the 8th. Firebirds go down in order, 1, 2, 3, and we will send it now to the bottom of the 8th with Chatham up 4-3 here on the Birds Broadcast Network.
All right, let's update our audience on what happened tonight around the Cape Baseball League and what is still happening. The final from Stony Brook, Brewster defeats Harwich 8-4. The top 2 teams in the East going at it in what looks like a playoff preview, and the Whitecaps get the win. YD keeps their playoff hopes alive, a 12-2 win over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and Red Wilson. Katuitt dominates Falmouth 16-6 at Arnie Allen Diamond. The Kettleers trying to remain in that race for the final spot in the West. Bourne with a 5-4 lead over Wareham. Bourne, who has clinched that #1 seed, and Wareham, like Katuitt and Falmouth, fighting for the 2 spot in the West. At bottom of the 8th there between Bourne and Wareham. So that one's still going. We're still going 4-3 here, Chatham over Orleans, as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And it's still Nicholas Luke.
Still Nicholas Luke, the right-hander from Adelphi, who has come on in relief for Max Rajic, beginning in the 6th. Rajic went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs. 3 of them were earned, walked 2, and struck out 4. And now Nick Luke, who has come on in and has pitched 2 shutout innings, has allowed just 1 hit. No walks and 3 strikeouts, and he'll look to keep this deficit down at 1. Benjamin Blackwell has entered the game for Orleans. He's now at shortstop for David Marcano, who was pinch hit for back in the top half of the 8th. It will be Lavari, Mendham, and Miller Green, the 6, 7, and 8 batters, dude up against Nick Luke. From the stretch, the first pitch, and a fastball low and in for ball 1. Lavari, the DH from Old Dominion, 0 for 3. He has struck out twice, and he has bounced out to second. Left-handed batter versus the righty Luke. 1-0. And a slider that misses low and in. 2-0.
Well, for a struggling Orleans bullpen, this has been a terrific performance from Nicholas Luke. Bullpen with an ERA upwards of 7.
The 2-0 pitch. Lavari swings and fouls one back to the padding of the backstop, and it's now 2-1. Crowd has filled out a little bit here from Veterans Field, especially since there's so much standing room behind home plate. There's been several number of spectators who have dispersed and have headed home, but still a good crowd on hand to watch the final couple of half innings here. Lots of people scattered up on the berm out in right center on the lawn area. 2-1. Lavari takes a pitch in the dirt. 3-1.
Christian and Gabe Fry, please report to the press.
Jared Southard getting loose for Orleans out in the right field bullpen. He's been their de facto closer the last couple of games. He's getting warm. 3-1. Lavari with a high pop-up, third base side, shallow left. Luke Keishel calling everybody off, and he drops the baseball out on the infield. Now they got the runner hung up. Locklear's throw to second. Not in time. The 4th error of the ball game committed by the Orleans defense on a pop-up to third that popped out of the glove of Luke Keishel. And they had a chance to get Lavari caught in between first and second, and they were not able to get him out at second. The throw too late from Tyler Locklear in the rundown to Chanier, and the runner at second with nobody out for David Mendham now, the first baseman from South Carolina.
Well, this score holds. The story of this game is going to be the errors by the Firebirds. 4 for a team that has the lowest amount of errors on the Cape coming into this game.
Mendham showing bunt, and he gets it down the third base side. Guillemette bobbles it and will not make a throw. Mendham safe at first. Over the third goes Lavari. Garrett Guillemette tried to barehand that bunt and throw it down the third, but he couldn't get a grasp, couldn't get a handle of the baseball. And instead, it goes as an infield single for David Mendham. And the runners are at the corners with Chatham on the verge of breaking this one open, with Lyle Miller Green, their home run and RBI leader, coming up to the plate. Lavari at third, Mendham at first. Lyle Miller Green, right-handed batter, the future Oklahoma State Cowboy, stands in. Hitless in 3 at-bats tonight. First pitch with the infield in, and he takes a changeup right down the middle for strike 1.
Jared Southard getting warm in the Firebirds pen, although I'm sure Orleans would like to save him for at least tomorrow. Southard, one of the best arms in his 2 outings with the Firebirds.
Lyle Miller Green with 24 runs batted in on the summer. 0-1. breaks his bat and grounds one back onto the mound. Luke bobbles it, now comes home. The tag by Guillemette on Lavari. In time, they got him. One away in the 8th on a nice play by Nick Luke off the mound. He bobbled the ball momentarily, but recovered in time. Made the calm throw to Garrett Guillemette covering home, and they get Lavari trying to score. It'll be a fielder's choice for Lyle Miller Green, but the run is cut off. It remains 4-3 Chatham. Runners at second and first, one out, and here comes the number 9 hitter, Jake DeLeo. Mendham at second, Miller Green at first. DeLeo, first pitch, and he wraps one in the right center field. DeLauner giving chase. This one's going to go off the wall on a hop, and it goes over the fence for a ground rule double. Mendham will score from second. Miller Green will have to stop at third. The lead has been increased to 2 on an RBI ground rule double from the Georgia Tech center fielder Jake DeLeo, and it's now 5-3 Chatham here in the bottom of the 8th.
DeLeo, half of his RBIs this summer have come against Orleans. 4 of his 8. A 3-run home run last time these two teams faced off, and it looks like we're going to see a Southern sighting after that double.
Kelly Nicholson making the walk out of the dugout, and he asks for the ball from Nick Luke. Still a very nice performance and Cape League debut for the right-hander out of D2 Adelphi. He departs after 2 1/3 innings pitched. And it's now time for Jared Southern to try and keep this deficit at 2. It's runners at second and third with 1 down, and Orleans down by 2. It's Chatham 5, Orleans 3. Jared Southern coming out to the mound when we come back on the Birds Broadcast Network.
There is number 36, Jared Southern.
Lyle Miller Green at third, Jake DeLeo at second. Chatham threatening here in the bottom of the 8th. They've already played at home a run on an RBI ground rule double by Jake DeLeo. Second and third, 1 out. Danny Soretti coming up to the plate, and Kelly Nicholson is opting to intentionally walk Danny Soretti. The bases will be loaded with 1 out, and Jared Southern will face Caden Trinkle, the left-handed batter from Oklahoma State. So Kelly Nicholson taking his chances now with Caden Trinkle, who does have a hit today. He's 1 for 4 with a single back in the 5th. Jared Southern, the hard-throwing right-hander's first pitch to Trinkle is high for ball 1.
Well, how much trust must Kelly have in Southern here, walking the bases loaded with 1 out?
Jared Southern, a second-year freshman who didn't see a ton of action on the bump for the Longhorns. 1-0 is a slider on the outside corner. Strike 1 called. 1 ball, 1 strike. The rising sophomore making his 4th appearance on the summer. He does have a save. 3 1/3 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts over 2 walks. 1-1. Trinkle takes a slider just outside, 2-1. Coming off a brilliant performance on Wednesday at Brewster where he got the save, pitched a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts and allowed a hit. 2-1 from Southern. Trinkle, swing and a miss on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. The count is even at 2 now. Big 12 matchup here between Texas and Oklahoma State. On deck is Josh Rivera. Bases loaded, 1 out. The pitch. Trinkle, check swing. He went around on the high fastball. Southern gets the strikeout in a strikeout situation. The infield can play back now, and there's 2 down for Josh Rivera, the Chatham 3-hitter. Josh Rivera tonight, 2 for 4, with an RBI double in the first and a single in the 5th. Chatham can bust it open with a base hit here. Up by 2. First pitch from Southern. Rivera takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. Strike 1 called by home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa. 0-1 to Rivera. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error here in this bottom of the 8th for Chatham. 0-1. And another breaking ball called. Strike 2 on the outside corner again. Rivera thinking fastball, instead gets 2 breaking balls. He's down in the count 0-2. Orleans will have Guillemette, McKenzie, and Keishel in the 9th. 9-1-2. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses inside. 1-2. Although would not be surprised to see Justin Mickness pick up a bat. He was warming up in the top of the 8th on the on-deck circle. Southern ready at the belt. The 1-2 pitch. And a big chopper fouled toward the Chatham on-deck circle. Remains 1-2 to the Florida Gator and Chatham's starting shortstop, Josh Rivera. Rivera, who increased his hitting streak to 6 games with his hit back in the first, and he's been a solid hitter as of late for Chatham. Their lone all-star this summer. Awaits the 1-2. And a line drive, diving play by Keishel on the ground to take away a base hit. And at least a run or 2 from the Anglers. Great play from the third baseman Keishel to his left to stab that ball before it got into left field. And Chatham strands the bases loaded. They do plate home an additional run. It's 5-3 Anglers. Last chance for the Firebirds coming up on the top of the 9th. It'll be Mickness, McKenzie, and Keishel dude up when we come back. Let's send it now to our sideline reporter, Noah Searson. Noah?
Yeah, appreciate it, Gareth. So now that we are towards the end of the game, literally in the last half inning, we're going to start to see some of more of the small ball that Kelly has employed recently in the past couple games. You got Justin Mickness. He's going to make a pinch hitting appearance. The guy that leads the team in walks, has one of the best eyes in the entire league. And if he gets on base, you got a lot of guys on the bench that can also fill in those spots. So between this move to get Mickness in here and potential guys still left on the bench, it's clear that Kelly, although, stakes not as high as far as playoff goes, he wants to win these games down the stretch a lot. He's going to do everything in his power to do so. But so between Mickness and the rest of guys, looks like a move is being made for a lefty too. So a little bit of a chess match, but definitely the case that it's going to be a lot more small ball the rest of this game, similar to what we've seen over the past week or so, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Noah. As looks like pitching coach Dennis Cook wants to make a change here, with Orleans going with the left-handed hitter Justin Mickness. Dennis Cook wants to go to the bullpen. However, now here comes manager Tom Holliday. And the umpires have gathered around the two coaches of Chatham, as it looks like they're trying to tell Dennis Cook, hey, you can't make that pitching change. You have to make it beforehand, before the batter is announced. You can't make it now after Mickness has already been announced. And Tom Holliday still arguing with the umpires. They do have a left-hander getting warm. And so Dennis Cook will ask for the ball from Sebastian Keene. And Keene is walking back to the dugout. I have to see the response from Kelly Nicholson from the dugout. Can't see where Kelly is, but they will be going to the bullpen. And left-hander will be coming on in for Chatham. So Justin Mickness announced as the batter, and Chatham is going to make a pitching change, despite Keene was already standing on the mound ready to go. Once Chatham saw Mickness coming up to the plate, Dennis Cook went straight to the mound and asked for the ball so that they can make the change. So Cade Bragg is the new pitcher, the left-hander from Weatherford College. And so he'll come in now and face Justin Mickness, Jared McKenzie, and then Luke Keischel. And certainly a strange move, as the umpire's now going to go talk to Kelly Nicholson about what happened, which I'm sure Kelly is not too happy about, but he wanted that Mickness versus Keene matchup. Instead, he's now going to get a lefty on lefty here.
Yeah, Mickness against lefties, just 1 for 5 on the summer, versus righties, on the other hand, he's got a 238 average. So it's a very small sample size against left-handers, but it'll be interesting to see how he fares. I think you hit the head on the nail, Garrett. As much as it is Mickness a lefty against righty, it's also how patient he is and how much he makes pitchers work. And so hopefully Mickness is able to get on. You know, they'll probably pinch run form with Benjamin Blackwell still available if he does get on. So this is just get a guy on and bring up the tying run to the plate and Jared McKenzie if you're Justin Mickness.
So Cade Bragg, the rising sophomore from Weatherford College, a 6'1", 200-pound left-hander from Ennis, Texas. Formerly a Texas A&M Aggie in 2018, and then committed to Weatherford College, a JUCO, in June of 2019. He had Tommy John in 2019, and he just finished the year as the clear second-best pitcher on the staff for Weatherford College. 91 strikeouts, over 70 in the third innings pitched, and 14 starts. He had an ERA of just over 3. Here he is facing off against Justin Mickness, and the first pitch. Mickness takes a pitch up high for ball 1. Orleans down by 2. They need 2 to tie and 3 to go ahead here in the 9th inning. From the windup, the 1-0. Mickness takes a fastball at 88 on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Justin Mickness, the Kent State catcher, trying to reach base here for Orleans. 1-1. Fastball high and in. 2 balls and a strike to Justin Mickness. Hitting .255 on the summer with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Swings and grounds 1 foul back to the screen on the 2-1, and it's now 2-2. Stay tuned for our Birds post-game show coming up after the conclusion of this one. We'll have post-game interviews with the players and our post-game wrap-up for this Saturday night here at Chatham. Last time Orleans will visit Veterans Field here this summer. Not the last time these two teams will square off. Again, friendly reminder to tune in tomorrow night when Orleans hosts Chatham at Eldridge Park Sunday. A 7 p.m. first pitch, and we'll have pregame at 6:45. And then that will be the final time Orleans and Chatham will face off this summer. Now time is called by home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa. Orleans grabbed an early lead in the first inning. They led 2-0. Chatham clawed back, took the lead. 3-2 in the fourth. Orleans tied it up in the top half of the fifth. 3-3 for Chatham. Grabbed the lead back in the bottom half of the fifth to make it 4-3. As the 2-2 pitch off the tip of Romero's glove up high, and it squirts past him to the backstop, 3-2. Anglers held a 1-run lead up until the 8th, and they tacked on another to make it 5-3. 3-2. Mickness with a ground ball foul. Heads up to the Chatham dugout. And it remains 3-2 to the Kent State catcher, Justin Mickness. Was one of the best eyes at the plate. One of the best eyes on this team. Jared McKenzie waiting on deck for Orleans. Orleans needs a base runner. The 3-2. Mickness rolls one foul down the third base line.
This is the guy you want at the plate if you're the Firebirds, and we're seeing why. Battling every single pitch. Making Bragg work. That'll be pitch number 8 of the at-bat.
3-2. Mickness swinging a foul tip into the glove of Romero for strike 3 swinging. Mickness goes down on strikes, and there's one away here in the 9th.
The center fielder, number 18, Jared McKenzie.
So here's Jared McKenzie. J-Mac is 1 for 3 with a single. He has bounced out to the pitcher, drawn a walk, and he has struck out looking. First pitch, up and in, almost by the head area. 1 ball, no strikes. Lefty on lefty matchup between Bragg and McKenzie. From the line, the 1-0. And a little blooper by the third base side. Mclean racing after it, but it's going to drop foul in front of the Chatham dugout. The count even at 1. Off the hands of McKenzie. Almost sounded like a broken bat, but he ended up not breaking it. So it's 1-1. Bragg trying to come in and close this thing out. Ready for the 1-1. Up and in, almost hits McKenzie right by that face shield. 2-1. A lot of these guys on the team have a little protective shield to guard the cheekbone area. And for McKenzie, it's protecting his right cheekbone to prevent any pitch that comes in high and in like that one that almost skimmed him on the helmet. 2-1. Cade Bragg making his 3rd appearance on the summer. He is not allowed an earned run in 2 2/3 innings. Can Orleans get to him tonight? 2-1. McKenzie swings and fouls one back to the screen. And it's now 2-2. A JUCO left-hander trying to retire a Big 12 outfielder. 2-2 pitch. Up and in. Boy, he's missing real close to McKenzie's head with that fastball. Count is full. Luke Kieshel on deck. Firebirds, if they can get a guy on base, would bring the tying run to the plate. From the line, to 3-2. McKenzie with a ground ball to third, fielded by McLean. Gobbles it up, fires over to first. In time for out number 2. And Orleans is down to their final out here tonight. McKenzie rolls out, and up comes Luke Kieshel with nobody on and 2 down. Kieshel tonight, 0 for 4. On the verge of being hitless in his last 3 games. Swings at the first pitch and pops one foul off the hands. 0-1 to Luke Kieshel. Chase DeLauder on deck for the Firebirds, but Kieshel has to reach base. Last chance for the Firebirds. 0-1 from Bragg. Is a swing and a miss on the pitch outside, and now Kieshel down to his final strike. The Cape League Player of the Week, trying to keep this game alive for the Firebirds. Down 2. Bragg 1 strike away. 0-2 pitch. It's up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Chatham faithful clapping on. They know the situation. Bragg ready. Here's the 1-2. And a fastball just a bit high above the leathers. 2-2. Orleans. If Chatham wins this game, they will have taken the season series. 2-2 pitch. Keishel pops it up foul onto the playground out in the right field line, and it remains 2-2. Anglers have a 2-1 lead in the season series. 1 more strike would clinch them the overall season series this summer in 2021. Fans cheering on Bragg. The left-hander ready at the set and the pitch. And Keishel lines one in the right center field. Miller Green racing over on the high backhander, and he tracks it down in right center, and that is the ball game. The future Oklahoma State Cowboy throws the ball into the stands for a lucky souvenir, and that will do it. The Anglers have secured the season series over the Orleans Firebirds, and they win this one by a final score of 5-3 here from Veterans Field in Orleans' last trip to Chatham this summer. Well, stay tuned. We'll have the Birds postgame show coming up with our sideline reporter Noah Searson. He'll go grab a player, and we're going to go grab a player as well into our booth as well. The Firebirds fall 5-3 against the Chatham Anglers here on this Saturday night, and they have now lost 3 in a row once again this summer. So the final totals in this one for tonight. Orleans with 3 runs on 7 hits, 4 errors. Meanwhile, Chatham with 5 runs on 9 hits, no errors. And for tonight, the winning pitcher for Chatham, it's going to go to Alex Mcfarland, the right-hander from Miami, who did pitch well. 5 innings, allowed 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So it was a quality start for the right-hander from the University of Miami. Receiving the loss will be Max Rajic, the right-hander from UCLA for Orleans, who just continues to struggle in the second half. But Orleans will have an opportunity to get one back from Chatham tomorrow night when they host the Anglers at Eldridge Park. 7 p.m. First pitch. We'll have pregame at 6:45. And so, again, stay tuned for that. 4 games left on the schedule. Firebirds, if they want to reach 500, they got to win out. And it starts with tomorrow against Chatham. Noah Searson is standing by with Stetson first baseman Trey Harmon. And so whenever you're ready, Noah, take it away with Trey.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Garrett. So I'm on the sidelines right now with Trey Harmon. And Trey, I know for the team, not the most exciting result of all time, but for you personally, you get a pair of knocks on the night, including a big ground rule double. And overall, you know, you came to the Cape a lot later than some of these other guys out here, but didn't really have as slow of a start. Some guys struggle with the wood bat, the fact that you're facing a lot of Friday, Saturday guys, but you've been mashing balls from the jump. So, you know, how do you think you've been able to adjust so quickly and make an impact for the Firebird so early on with the team?
Just trying to stick to my approach and just stay with what I do from everything that I've been working on at school, and just trying to stay aggressive early in counts and not work myself into bad hitting counts, and just try to attack fastballs when I can.
And when you're thinking about your time on the Cape thus far, you got 4 games left this summer. What's the biggest thing you think you've kind of grown on, seen improve in your game that you'll carry into Stetson in the fall and then the season in the spring?
I've actually been really happy with my defensive play, and I feel pretty confident going into school, just not only playing with the bat, but also being able to hold my own at first base as well.
Well, and speaking to that, how does that help, your hitting actually when you're fielding well? It seems like for a lot of guys when they get confidence and are playing well in one area, it affects the other as well. Have you seen that in your game, that when you're fielding well, it kind of helps your hitting and it helps your all-around performance on the field?
Absolutely. It's just feel good, play good, and when you're able to make plays on one side of the ball, it can kind of help jumpstart the other side, whether it's having a good hit and then being able to take that out onto the field and make a good play, or vice versa, make a good play and be confident going into your next at bat.
Well, absolutely. We saw that tonight. 2 big hits tonight and a couple games left, but we're still excited to see a couple more games out of you, Trey. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I'll let you get to the team meeting, and we'll catch you tomorrow at home against Chatham. And Gareth, that's all I got from the sidelines tonight, so I'll send it back to you in the booth. I believe you're speaking with Nick Luke, who we'll see on Wednesday start, but got his first appearance tonight, so I'll toss it back to you in the booth with Nick.
All right, thanks so much, Noah. Indeed, we are here with Adelphi right-hander Nick Luke, who made his Cape League debut tonight here at Chatham. Nick, first of all, welcome to Orleans, and tonight you pitched 2 1/3 innings, allowed just 1 run and 3 strikeouts, no walks. You hit the guy on the first pitch. You looked like you had some nerves, but how did it feel overall just to get your first outing out of the way here on the Cape?
It felt good. Definitely a little nerve-wracking. A lot of fans. I haven't been around this many fans in a while, but I was happy to be out there. I enjoyed pitching, so had a good time.
How did you find out that you would be coming here to Orleans and pitching on the Cape? And what was your reaction when you heard that you would be coming here?
Obviously, I was very excited. I mean, this is a great league, best in the country. And my summer coach from the Hamptons just let me know I was throwing a bullpen one day. He told me he would reach out to one of the coaches out here, and then 2 days later, he told me that I was going to be coming up here after the season ended, and we ended a little early. We lost in the playoffs, so I was able to get up here a little bit earlier.
Well, you pitched in the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League All-Star Game, and you just had a stellar summer with them. You mentioned that it was probably the highlight of the summer, but how does this one compare? You're making your Cape League debut here in Chatham in front of this crazy crowd.
Yeah, it's I would probably rank it a little bit higher than the All-Star Game, but I'm going on my 5th year, so it was nice to get called up here in my last summer of baseball. So.
Well, Nick, welcome to Orleans, and we'll see one more outing out of you next week. And
yes.
So a good start for you, and we'll see you next week at Brewster.
I'm excited. Thank you very much.
All right, you're good to go, Nick. Thanks so much.
Appreciate
and
it.
That's going to do it for us here on the Birds postgame show. Carlo Jimenez will put on the headset one more time as we wrap things up here from Chatham. Firebirds fall in this one 5-3 against the Anglers. The Anglers have defeated the Firebirds tonight, and they have taken the season series. 3-1 the season series at this point. And so that is going to do it for us here from Chatham. Carlo Jimenez, your final thoughts as Orleans falls for the 3rd time in a row in this one.
It's tough to win a two-run game when you commit 4 errors, and that was really the story today. The errors by Orleans, you think about to the one Guillemette threw into right. Runner came home to score. Trey Harmon continues to be terrific. Luke Kieshel's got to get out of those struggles, but I'm sure he will. He's been terrific for the Birds. So an interesting one here at Veterans Field. Firebirds, a game they probably, if they play clean, come out of here with a win and at least a tie. But the 4 errors are not going to do it.
Well, again, make sure you tune in for tomorrow when Orleans hosts Chatham, 7 p.m. first pitch, and we'll have pregame for you at 6:45. Final 2 home games of the summer here at Orleans at Eldridge Park. The Firebirds at home tomorrow, and then they will host Harwich on Monday before wrapping up the summer with 2 games consecutively on the road. But tomorrow, 7 p.m. first pitch versus Chatham, 6:45 pregame. That's going to do it for us here live from Veterans Field. For our sideline reporter, Noah Searson, my partner here, Carlo Jimenez, and our producer, Matt Schenfeld, Gareth Kwok here saying so long from Veterans Field, and we will see you all tomorrow at home when Orleans has a rematch with Chatham here on the Birds Broadcast Network.